What's happening, chat? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. What a week. Been an incredible week, right? Price action's been very, very kind to everyone in the Flow Zone community. And as you all see on the daily, well, last night we got exactly what we wanted. And I did start some relief longs last night, I will tell you that, both in swing accounts and in a couple props. But you can see this is what we were looking for, right? This is the exact moment we were looking for. We talked about it in the newsletter. We talked about it over the last few days, that if we left this trapped volume from here, all right, this trapped volume here, once we left it and we rejected it, we would expect that move down to Mr. 200 day. I don't know why I call it Mr., but in my mind it's Mr. 200 day. All right, it's the first time we've visited it in 9 months, straight out the newsletter. Anyone that got the free newsletter, if you don't get the free newsletter, I don't know what you're doing. The links are down below in the chat, and this is exactly what we were looking for. All right, so we've come into that 200 day, and we're getting very near this node here, 24,000. All right, so that's the next stop. Do I think we go there today? Probably not. All right, we probably need some relief. Like we talk about, the market doesn't move straight down, all right? It moves in waves, and overnight we've had that relief, all right? And we're coming back towards this node here, 24,800s, and then through that we can look at 25,000 again. All right, so really what I'm trying to say is objective complete for the week, all right? Failed breakout last week, failed to get back into that high this week, big dumperama, we just hit our target. There's very unlikely to see more downside in the immediate future. It doesn't mean we can't come and do one of these today. We can, but I would find it unlikely that we break this low today. It's possible, but it's unlikely. What's more likely to happen now is that we're going to build out liquidity today and next week, maybe have a failed attempt to get back in, maybe come back down, clean these out, and maybe then we get a waterfall moment. I don't know. Maybe they come up for this, or maybe they just do one of these. We'll find out over the next few weeks. But right now, this is an expected move that we're seeing on the daily. So you guys should have been prepared for that. You should have been prepared. Okay, so when we now look at the hourlies, we can think about the volume that was trapped over the last few days, where we might move to, why we might move. So here we come into the hourlies. Right, let's move this up so you can see enough. You can see we're stretching back up into the developing week profile. All right, so this profile here is from Sunday's open. And you'll see we have a node here, we get thin. We have a very thick node here, we get thin. We have a little node here, we get thin. And we have a node here, and then under here, well, we haven't had no acceptance under there. All right, so this was the gap fill yesterday. This was the drift into the higher time frame level. This is the 200 day. We've bid back off that. 1, 2, 3. The question really is, do we pull back and hold now? That's the question mark. If we're going to pull back and hold, that means we're going to have no acceptance to increase value lower in the developing week. So if it is a big if right now, but if we can pull back and hold somewhere into these 700s, possibly even down to 640s, all right, potentially, then they have a little bit of a continuation move higher, maybe, if they really want to turn it on. What you need to be careful of is if we fail to hold previous day value area high, these 780s here, and we rotate down to, what's this, 650s, the previous day point of control, and we lose that, we're going to come straight back down to 530s. Now, this might not seem like enough, like a lot. That's 800 to 500. 765, there's 300 points in a rotation. And I tell you what, overnight we were very thin up there. All right, so we've got to be a little bit careful of how we place this. If we're going to be long today for a relief, you have to be careful, because I will remind you the main trend is still down. All right, this is a relief, right? The question is, as we come into some of these levels down here, do the bids come back in and say, hey, enough, we need a relief all the way back here? Don't say they have to do it today, but like this could be the start of what we're looking for early next week, something up into that, unless this POC shifts down here, which is not too far away from doing. All right, but if it doesn't, then I'd be looking for that move next week, and then a resell back down towards the lows. So watching these areas here, I'm not going to be too heavy here. The last thing we want to do on a Friday after a massive week, 2 weeks in a row of amazing price action, the last thing we want to do is something stupid, right? So we will be watching if we hold previous day value area high, or this developing profile, this node here, ideally, if not down here, we'll be thinking about if this gets long. If we do that and we reject value area high, I will be looking for a short back down into this and this again, and then I'll be thinking long again. I do not want to get long short down here. I really don't want to get short down here. right? Like we talk about, we don't want to be shortening that 200 day. Even if it starts peaking for the day, that's all right. It can go without me. Okay, let's have a look what happened overnight. So in the new session, you can see we lost previous day's value area low and we drifted into the 200 day. As soon as we hit that 200 day, we found a bid, right? Higher low, starting to bid up, and we are in one of these, repricing into here. We need to build out liquidity somewhere in here now to offer that relief. And if they can't get that relief, then these guys will become trapped and we'll use it downside. All right, so I'm expecting a pullback ideally somewhere into here to get long. Probably is going to be the first thing I'd consider doing, and then we can readjust after that. All right, we'll readjust after that. Okay, so lower time frame, you can see it's just a straight pump. I'll tell you what I can do. You can see some of the nodes that I've marked out. If we go to the Asia session, I rarely do this, but the move has been big, so it's worth doing right here. Hello, mate. There we go. All right, so big cluster developing here. I'm watching the edge of this into previous day value area high. If we lose this cluster, like I talk about, if we lose this cluster, all right, then really we're very thin here, aren't we? So I'd be watching this from yesterday, and if we lose that right down to here, it's very, very possible right now we come all the way back down to 500s. If we lose sevens, or what we call them that, 790s, let's just call it 750s to be safe. If we lose it under there, there's a chance we're going to move to 650s. If they don't find a bid on yesterday's point of control, then we will rotate down to the yesterday's previous day value area low, which is overnight point of control. So this area here is a big, big zone. All right. So if we don't bid here or here, they will probably bid here, which means there is a short down to that. And if they lose that, there's another short down to that. And there's a bid either here or here or here. I don't want to trade between these zones. Don't want to trade between those zones. In that thin profile, no, thank you very much. All right. So I'm going to stick to these zones. 1, 2, 3. That's where I want to trade. Those locations, nowhere else. All right. So wait for it to get into those and then see what the reactions are. All right, let's have a look at the ES. All right, look at that strength. Oh my gosh, why so strong? Well, because it's not had the relative weakness with software selling off. All right, so if we think about IGV, I want to make sure I got that right, IGV. All right, this has been the sell in tech. All right, this is your Oracles and your Adobes. We went over this yesterday. All right, Cliff. All right, I did get long. Right, I started like nibbling long. I will get more long down here just for a little bit of relief. It might be that it collapsed the whole thing, but I'm looking for a little bit of relief bounce. Whereas ES, like we talked about, all right, relative strength doesn't have all of tech in it, and we have some of the broader market. That's a great push. That is a fantastic push overnight on ES, starting to find a bid. So you'll be watching for liquidity to be built in here now, and if it is, and probably a drive back up to here over the next few days. So it looks pretty good. Let's have a look at the ETFs, spiders, same story. All right, right into our green zone. Look at that, right into the 70s. And we've caught a bid off that. All right, so they lost 75, trade into 70s after hours on Amazon earnings, ripped it. And you know what we have now. All right, so there. If they don't come back down into this, if we build liquidity out here, this can then be used for that relief. Doesn't have to be today. I want to really make that clear. It really does not need to be today. Might be a liquidity building day today, given the size of that push overnight. QQQ, same story. All right, we lost these 600s and we came, well, that is a big old wash in the after hours on Amazon. Didn't realize it was that big. All right, one thing I would say, there is divergence. QQQ 200 days, a long, long way down. All right, it is at 77s. All right, so if the ETFs are going to catch up next week and get to their 200 days, these are going to have to trade right down into here. All right, so they've got a long way to come for the 200-day tap, which we've seen on NQ already, if they're going to play that catch-up trade. The same story, right inside of initial balance now, gapping up. And we have an old gap fill, which you didn't quite fill. If we want to be efficient, we can come into those 605.80s. I will be watching that. All right, let's get into the MAG and everything else, BTC and all that good stuff. Dixie's still trying to find a bid. All right, it's coming back down now, but it's coming back down into a level that we last bid off. So if this is an undercut, we would want Dixie to hold here for that drive up if it's actually going to have a go at it. But this is just building out a box. If we lose that, new lows. Gold and silver did everything we talked about. All right, there's your fade back down, there's your cover, and you'd have to see if it gets runners, if not relief. Same story on silver. Silver was actually a better trade. All right, there's the pop back up, which has been faded, and they did it. All right, so there's the bounce, which you fade, and there's the undercut, and then you'd be covering there, and you'd just be runners now, because if they reclaim this, then they're going to come back up here. BTC, we can go over quickly. We talked about this. We have talked about this extensively. I kept warning you guys, do not be long. Everyone trying to long up here is just like, it doesn't make sense based on history. All right. Big wash last night. I have got long some IBIT. I will be honest with you. I'm long just for a relief, not a long-term hold. I don't think this is necessarily the long-term hold point. I think this is, you know, measured move, drift back up into here somewhere, and then have another go down into here. Like we said, we can come 30s. We can come 30s, folks. I know it's scary, but it absolutely can do it. Right, mag, before I run out of time. Right, Apple still fantastic, fantastic, amazing strength in Apple. Starting to build out here, though. These are always dangerous. If they don't break a new high soon, then we will expect this. So we want to be careful, especially if the market stays weak. But if the market starts to rally, we might see a re-squeeze. What is going on here? What is this? Get out of it. Get out of it. All right, Amazon, hammered, absolutely hammered. All right, gap fills all the way up here. This thing's getting cooked right now. It's in big, big trouble. Coming back down towards these 200s. So found a bid around the 200s. Where are we? Into a major pivot. We still have a gap fill. God, TradingView's gone nuts. We still have a gap fill into 91s that we want to be aware of. So can still see more weakness there in Amazon. Goog, TradingView, what's going on? Wow. It's a new one for me. Completely froze. All right, Goog, underneath PDC. Wash yesterday, drove all the way back up, starting to see if it can find a bid. This is your key level today, 32s, 22s, 22s, 322s to 33. So a $10 range here on the Goog. Meta, same kind of thing, trying to find a bid after that overnight wash. All right, same kind of thing in the markets. Back in yesterday's IB, you can see breakout, wash, range here. Get above this and hold, it will have relief. Asking a lot of it, but it's a Friday. You don't know. Freaky Fridays. All right. Microsoft's still breaking down. I've got a feeler on this. Just want to see. If we come back in here, this will be the look below and fail, but we will see. This is quite a way off the highs now. All right. We've already filled in this gap, which is what I was looking for. So I have got a feeler long on this, a swing long feeler on this, looking for a reprice towards 40s, and I'll probably lock in there because that is possible at 40s, so I'll probably lock in most of it there. And if we start to do this, great. This is going to be this is a swing play, right? This is a swing play. So I've bid small amount around here this morning and yesterday, and we will see how we go. Nvidia doesn't look good, does it? That really doesn't look good. This is your shelf. It's getting tight. It is getting tight. If they start losing that shelf, then we're going to probably have a new leg down in the queues, because that is the one thing holding up okay. If we start losing that, I'd be watch out time. In fact, you know what? It's that important. Let's set a price alert. That is an important level. Okay, Tesla gapping up, needs to get back in this range to have any real strength. All right, so same thing. There's just sort of W. Can it bid above 400? If so, it's looking to get into these sort of 10s and 15s. Acceptance back through that, and we can go back upside again. Otherwise, this is where the buyers are stuck. Same kind of thing we look at all the time, right? Oracle, I did start a long last night, all right, on a relief, a tiny bit, because it's very high risk, because it's got a lot of debt that they might have to raise. But I do think this is overextended now at this point. All right, we filled the gap off this high. We're down a huge amount. Right, 60%. So I'm looking for a relief rally here on Oracle. So I do have a small piece swing long on Oracle just as a starter, just for transparency. And as you know, I am swing long on Amazon, Netflix as well. But I'm actually looking for the 70s. I'm looking for it to come down, fill this gap in the 70s before I add any more. So there we go. That's me being transparent with you. Not that you guys are a swing channel, but I have started some swing positions. Okay. Those in Discord, just check out the swing tab and you will see the positions and why. Already up quite nicely on them. I posted some this morning. Where are we up? I'm up 7% on Hood already. I'm up 3.4% on IBIT already, and a few others. Okie dokie. Right. Wow, that was quick. Good luck, everyone. The Open is about to start. We will see. Ideally, they flush down and offer us something to get long into. ideally, and we'll go from there. So we'll be watching some of these zones down here. If we lose previous day value area high, we'll be looking for here and here to get long. Otherwise, not too fussed. We've had a fantastic week. Fantastic week. Yes, Nightbot got adjusted after all the questions, right? Nightbot got told, here are the volume profile settings. This is what we're trading. Yes, I couldn't deal with it any longer. All right, let's see. Watching down here now to see if we get a flush into it to bid off. Amazon the week 8% down. So let's see, folks. If we're lucky, we'll get that sort of retest towards previous day point of control, maybe even previous day value area low, which is slightly different on NinjaTrader. Oh, that's a bit annoying. All right. So point of control I have on NinjaTrader is, let's make sure this is correct, is down. Oh, these are all wrong. I'll adjust all of these. Give me a second. There we go. That was all wrong. So looking to see if we come into 50s for a bid. At the moment, they're protecting that old gap. Remember that old gap? We just protected it. So they can re-squeeze above previous day value area high if they want and come and clear all this out. This is where I'd feel much better about bidding. If I was going to bid up today, I'd rather we tested this naked level and bid up, or even down here and bid up off that. That would be much better. Remember, the main trend is lower, so we want to be very careful. We don't really want to buy value area high from yesterday. It would be much better if we can drift lower first. But we will see, folks. We will see. They might just set a squeeze and go. We'll see. Zoom in on some of these. I didn't get to go through VIX, did I? Sorry about that. VIX is just basing around the 20s right now. VIX just basing. All right, back to previous day value area high here. Do they find acceptance back through it or not is the question. If they do, then potentially there is a squeeze on back to take out these overnight highs, but it's not the best location. Nice. I bet up 6%. Let's fucking go. Nice. These relief rallies starting to take place today, which is what we expect, right? After big sell days, it is what we expect. We expect some relief in the market. All right, let's see, folks. Let's see how we come into this previous day point of control. Can we get down there and trap some people? Alex's favorite. Can we trap some people down there? Come on, come down for us. Come down for us. Let's get some volume on here as well before I forget. Sorry, folks. There we go. So into that gap. I really want to get this blue box. If possible, if they're going to be very kind, that's where I'd like to go. I'd like to get down into that blue box. Already squeezing then. All right, watching this now for a trigger long through all of this. Let's see if they're going to do it. Here we go. Here we go. So long in this now for this squeeze back up for this imbalance. Oh my God, this is too much money. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Locking some in. Jesus. I'm getting too rich here. Stop. There we go. All right. Too rich, too quick. All right. There was the trap. I would have much rather that trap happened down here, but they trapped into here, reclaimed value, and up we go into here, trimming some off now. Had to trim some because I sized, started adding into that aggressively, and we'll see if we take out this high now, and through that we have this node here. So we'll be trimming some into here. So it wasn't ideal. Ideal would have been into this and then do it, but we trapped here, squeeze through this, into this. This is your next block. So we're selling into here. Watch this volume here, folks. And we'll see the trap again. Same play that we've had the last 2 days in a row. Same play we've had the last 2 days in a row. And this grey box above is where we're going into. Now, the edge of this, what we're starting to trade into now, 74s is going to be key. It's a big node from the developing week. If we get through that, then we can hit 963s today. So this is a huge node of the developing week. So you want to be taking a big chunk of yours off into this grey box. Here we go, still lifting. Still lifting. Next imbalance is 910. So we've just filled a lot. You do not want to be adding up here now. Okay, this is a big squeeze. Look at this. There's a 180 point squeeze here, and we joined in probably from a little bit around here, 70. So we've got a good 100 points out of that straight away. Alex made too much money. Fucking hell. Alex made too much money there. I had to join a little bit late, but it was so aggressive on that rip through. It was insane. So I'll show you what I saw. Look at this. Mr. Seller at the lows getting stuck. Who'd have guessed? All right. Same thing as yesterday at these lows in this imbalance. They came flying in and we turned around and then we went straight through value. Buyers stepped in and then we've just absolutely ripped faces, filling all these old imbalances. All right. So the main move that I wanted has happened in the opening, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Just wait now. Be very careful of this shelf now. Okay, if you're holding longs, if we lose this shelf, you know what happens. We're thin, we come right back down. So if we lose this shelf on a retest, I will not be trading this short up here, but if you lose this shelf on a retest, this is probable because this is very thin. All right, the other option is they do a naughty and complete this move up into here if they want to do some sort of retrap up at the highs. What indicators are that on the chart? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not going to answer these anymore. This is why I set up Nightbot. Nightbot will tell you what all the indicators are, okay? Alex cannot keep answering the same questions every day 100 times. I'm very patient to do it, but just read in chat, all right? Nightbot is telling you what's there. Let us know when you take a trade. I did. I told you. I made it very clear. I'll be looking for a trap down here, and a reclaim of previous day value high can cause a squeeze. So guess where? I got long. I told you. What do you want me to do? Like I say all the time. I'll show you where the toilet is. I'm not going to hold your dick for you. At least tell you where you're taking a trade. I don't know what is wrong with you guys. You must have just joined the channel for the first time. I made it so clear, right? My preference for a long would have been down here, but we trapped on this old gap. If you were here yesterday, you would have known that this is a gap. All right, we trapped in this gap. We found a bid. We saw sellers trapped. I talked about it. Sellers got trapped. I'll wait for the reclaim. There's the reclaim of New York Open and previous day value area high. There was my trigger long. I'm long and I'm selling into these gray boxes. All right, if you are new here, you need to be turning up every day. At least tell me this. At least tell me this. I don't actually need to tell you everything, but I do. And I explain everything. That's why we catch 300-point bangers here together, all right? If you're listening, if you're waiting for me to be like, this is a bull flag and we're going to do this, and I'm not going to give you that, guys. Like, I'm telling you much more important levels than that. All right, still holding this. Still have this level here, which we can go and fill. This is the huge level. Remember, off the developing weekly profile, if we start to hold bids above this, we can start to get aggressive. All right, we're talking about this here. This node here is where we've just traded into. If we hold above this, we can run the stops into 950s. All right, into here. We have an old point of control, I believe, untested. And this guy here, 25,162s. POC now for the developing week has shifted lower, which is one thing. So we've just shifted POC here for the developing week. So this is fair value since Sunday now, all right? And we're holding bids above fair value since Sunday and driving higher. Here you go. There we go. So let's see if they find acceptance now. I'll be trimming a decent amount of profit here. Really nice. Okay, so the stops we can run are 960 if it has power. All right, you do not want to be adding long up here. I will tell you that. All right, the long trigger was down here. We're now basing above this grey box. We've developed this in the last 5 minutes. All right, but our TP is here and here. All right, so if you are long from these reclaims, TP1, TP2, TP3, if we get very lucky today and they do some disgusting squeeze, then we can think about 25,000. But remember, the main trend is down. We are looking at a relief rally. Why? People are covering their puts on a Friday after a multi-thousand point move over the last few sessions. I had to wait a minute to say this, but that was the best saying I've heard in a long time, lol. My buddy put me onto this channel. Glad he did. You're talking about the toilet saying. Yeah, I say that on this channel a lot. People come in for signals, but they want me to say, buy now, buy now. If you're here and prepared and listen to me and stay with me, I tell you where I'm going to buy and what I'm looking for, right? As we always talk about, we're looking for shorts trapped at lows, all right? We are looking for shorts trapped into low pivots, which is what we got this morning. Move this into a 1 minute. I showed you on Ninja already, all right? Shorts trapped into the lows down here, all right? They got trapped down here. It doesn't show well on TradingView, but I tell you what it does show on. It shows very well on my Ninja Trader, right here. This is where the short got trapped this morning. He got trapped at 14s, and then the next level here is 46s. So all the time we're above 46s, that this big player here is caught offside. Right, so we're going to go from one node to the other node. Like I said, you want to be very careful here into the 900. So we've just developed more here. I'm going to put another grey box in inside here. We're still bullish on this squeeze. So all the time we're holding above this node. This is your rotation right now between this node and this node. If we find acceptance, they will come for up here now. So dips are holding. There's your higher time frame algo hold. Pretty positive there. If we come up here 960, and then we can think about 25k. Be very, very careful if we lift into 25k. I'm just going to check the ETFs here while I'm watching. All right, Q's getting very close to previous day high here. Be very careful here. Q's going rip faces at 604.80s. There will be a stop hunt there. Has ES already done it? Spiders have already done it. Where's ES? ES not there yet. All right, so ETFs already coming up to previous day high. VIX coming down to previous day low. So we are in a trimming position here, as in we're in a lock some profit in position here on the ETFs, especially, right? Especially. Let's have a quick look at FinViz here. Let's have a look at the broader market. All right, if you lose this level here is key for bulls to hold, right? There's your POC on the day, developing POC. This level here, bulls must hold this if they're going to complete this. If they lose this, all right, then this rotation here will happen. Oh, but he doesn't tell me what to do. I literally have just told you right now what I'd be looking at. Right, I'm done with that long now. I can always re-enter if I like it. FinViz, are we going to wake up today? Why are you giving me a... I can't see anything yet. Channel is so bad. All right, back into this node, all right, and VWAP. So this is your over-under now for sentiment for the day, like we talked about. If they lose this, you'll see this flush right back down to here. If they do a little trap here, we're going to rotate back to this high. This is the rotation between here. Acceptance over there. We come to 60s, all right? So we will see. There is 100 points in here if they hold it. Remember, the seller got caught here at 45. And he got caught here at 45. So all the time we're above that 45, that seller is still stuck. If we get under 45s and definitely under 30s, this is going to get very, very thin back down to 760s, 770s, right? So if we lose this, you can see we're so thin on this squeeze up that we took. We can come right back down into here. So you do not want to see this. If you're bullish, you do not want to see this here happen, right? If you start losing that, do not hold it. They will flush this very quickly if they start to lose this node. I'll give you a little readout on the mag. Let's just check. Yeah, so SPY took out previous day high, coming back towards its 5-day and 50-day cluster. QQQ not quite there yet at its previous day high, but not far. VIX very close to previous day low, but not far. Right, Tesla 1.36% up, Nvidia 4.08% up, Microsoft 1.61% up, Meta 1.73% up, Google 1.96% up, Amazon 9% down, Apple 1.17% up. How are my swings performing? Where are you, Mr. Oracle? Oracle 4.3% up. I want to just check on that to see where I might want to take some profit on this relief. Oh, we've got a way. I'm going to hold this for a while. I think some decent relief off this. Sorry, folks, just give me a second. 70s. Where's the gap fill there? 60s. Okay, cool. Might trim some today just to be smart. Just to be smart. Okay, so held grey box well. So grey to grey rotation. So grey to grey. This rotation here starting to take place. This will be a build out of liquidity. Acceptance above, they'll come for 65s and then 25k. And like we talked about, acceptance below. And they will wash this. Here we go. So they're holding well. Point of control, VWAP held. If they do this, we will expect this move here to 960s. There are lots of stops at 60s. Okay, lots and lots of stops at 60s. So if you have a look at that hourly candle put in at sort of 9 a.m. on Thursday, yesterday, that's what we're looking at, is can we run the stops up into there? So you want to be proactive, taking some profits into that level. I think you've got a shot here, folks. You've got a shot here. Here we go. So bids off here are holding, acceptance through here now. Here come the 60s. All right, so if you are long now, you're looking for a partial... Through 60s, we have room. There is a low volume... 60 is a very low volume node, all right? I'm looking at the developing week. Like I keep talking about, I'm looking at this developing week. I'm looking... Where's my arrow? Mr. Arrow. Right, I'm looking at this stop here and this low volume node here. So we know that this is a big level. So if we pop that, you want to be taking some profit. If you get lucky, you'll get into this next cluster. What's the edge of that? 25,040. All right, but you definitely want to be taking some profit into 60s, okay, into 60s. I got slipped, bro. I got in at 830s when I saw the trap seller. 830s. Oh, so after you saw the trap seller, but it's still good. You saw the trap seller here, you mean, on that flush down and hold. You're still good. You look good. Look, you're going to get, you're up over 100 points. You're up over 100 points. You're going to get this. You should get this 60s. I would have some limits out. Right, those of you who are long, like I say, I would have some wish orders out, because through this you might get a stop run straight up, and they can fail up there. So you want to have wish orders out up here. So I'd be trimming some now and having some limits just put in up here in case this from here you get a big boner candle and you can come and fill some of you. Here we go. So coming up for the 60s. So 50s on deck here. We've got a 50 lot on deck there. And 60s, we've got 22s and then 975. So I'll be trimming some into this and then see if you can get it to go. What futures are you trading? US 100. I'm trading the NQ. US 100 is not CFD. Right, I'm trading the actual centralized futures market. John Dennis, thank you very much. Appreciate you, my friend. All right, back down to this rotation. So we just missed these stops at 60s. This node here is key. All right, you can see this node here. If they lose this node, we will come back down. If they hold this node, we will try and complete it. Be careful, because you're going to be in third drive here. All right, think about the amount of drives you want to be careful. 2, 3. If they stop, you don't want to be adding any more here now. No, 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 no. Right, it either does it and completes it for you, or it doesn't. Do not be adding long up here now, please, because if they want to do this, they absolutely can. Right, lots of bulls chasing this up on the way up at the moment. Right, ideally, they hold this, complete this, and get up here for you guys, and then you can lock in all your money in the day, and then we can all have a good time together for the rest of the day. Oh, I'm on the wrong channel for you, aren't I? Sorry. It's drawing for you anyway. All right. Here, this node must hold. This node must hold. 60s coming up. Have your wish orders up here, please. Have your wish orders for above 60, please. You might get a an 80-point spike here, ideally. They're stacking at 50 and 75 is where they're stacking right now. 50s and 75. How much are you paying for the tool that you use? Well, this one I designed, so I'm not paying anything. Right, and this one is free. It's anchored volume profile. It's very simple. People are asking you to say, I'm entering the trade the moment you enter it. Yes, and it's very simple, and I do, Mr. Prodigy. It's very simple. I'll teach you to fish. If you don't want to learn to fish and you want to watch some fucking idiot who doesn't know how to trade and what they're looking at, you can very simply go and look elsewhere. That's a very simple thing as well. Fund Index and Lucid for me are what I trade. Right, 60s coming up here. Come on. There's a 200 lot 50s through that. Starting to fill that. 200 lot stacking at 50s through that. We should see a swipe. Come on. Get through this 200 lot. They've tapped into him a few times. Trying to put up a wall here. QQQ now taking out previous day high. So just be careful. The ETFs have now completed that previous day high move, which is the 50s, which is why there's a 200 lot here. So the ETFs, cash has been efficient. SPY's holding well over that. And just be very careful here watching the QQQ. Come on, get through this 200 lot. You can see him on Bookmap, 207 lot at 50s. Through that, we should see a little bit of a face ripper. Come on. Failing that 50s, that wall's still there. See if they bid back up to him now. So still holding this light grey box, this shelf. You need to see this break the high now. All right, so we've just had a lot of shorts chase. We had a 154 lot come in at 40s, a 32 lot underneath him, a 62 lot underneath him, a 200 lot at the lows. We should take this out now. We have had a huge amount of shorts chase in. We have to take out the 50s now, otherwise it's game over for these lot. Back to this grey box again. Like I said, this is third drive, which is why I would not be adding long up here. They're trying. If you get a 50 break, you should get a pretty nice squeeze because there's a lot of shorts who've come in underneath that on that last flush down to that grey box. So through 50s, you should get a move through 60s to 75 pretty quickly. You've got to get through this 200 lot sat above us right now. Like I said, QQQ is at previous day high. So watching to see if the options market wants to take that out or not. And then you've got 605 above, which I imagine would be a big, big level. So I can show you on Bookmap what I'm looking at here. You can see right here, we've got a 200 lot wall. We sold against it a couple of times and you see all these shorts chasing. Well, if we get above them, they are all going to be offside and we will use this guy to lift up into here. We've got to get through 50s and then we'll use these guys paying to move higher at that point. They've got to get through this 950. Here's the flush through it. So 915 to 60. Let's see if they can turn this on to 75 for you and then to 25k. Here you go. Boom, 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 boom. So you want to be locking some in here, moving your stop up. Here's 75. Here's the squeeze. Alex doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't give it ahead of time, yada, yada, yada. All the new people in chat talking absolute shite. All right, and now 25,000, the next level. So you should be trimming. You should have 10, 20% left. That's it. That is all you should have left. All the questions about the indicators, anchored volume profile, all that stuff, just look at Nightbot in chat. It will answer everything for you. It's all there. It's just told you. Look at that. Locked in 20k withdraw after close today on my 550k flex my future funded accounts. Solid week. Keep sizing in check. Stuck to my plan. Amazing start to the weekend. Nice work, buddy. All right, there you go. So there's the squeeze through. Like I said, I would just be tiny amount left now to see if you can lift up into this box. But the damage has just been done. You've just run the stops. We're into that low volume node. Remember, we talked about it down here. We are looking to run this guy's stop out. We just ran his stop out. We can fill some of this in. This is low volume. If you're lucky, you get 25,000 and this block here, somewhere up into here, this shelf, 25,040. But the damage has been done. This is multi-drive, right? This is just a squeeze. At some point, they will wash this back down. Alex, my previous day point of control is 24,790 in trading view, but your previous day value area high is in that region Ninja. Am I missing something? I'm fixing it to the previous day from 9:30 to... No, that's right. Maybe just the time frame you're looking at. I'm not sure. Sometimes there's discrepancies between trading view and Ninja, though. Hello from Surrey, England. Did we trade? Yes, we did. Where in Surrey, England are you living? Yeah, we have news. We do have news coming up. Top of the hour, folks. Top of the hour. We do have news coming up here. Consumer sentiment. Top of the hour. And then we have some Fed talk later on in the day. All right, so your damage has been done here. We've run the stops. Remember, 60 was the stop run. This can be a look above and fail. If they start dunking this under here and here, this would be the rotation back to here, and we can build out volume in here now. So you should be pretty much done with this. Like I said, this was the stop run. You want wish orders above this. Job done. If you're very lucky, you keep drifting, but I wouldn't be betting on it. How much is the course to access your Discord? Should be 699, but it's probably still 649 because Amir has still not changed it, I don't think. Let me have a look. Hopefully he's changed it. Still 649. Oh my God, he's getting a bollocking. 649 right now, flowzonetrader.com, beginner to advanced course. Hello from Arizona. Hello. Can't say enough about how great it is to listen to your analysis. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Out now, Titan Trader. Yeah, everyone should be out now on that expansion up. All right. If we start losing here, what I'd imagine here, unless they collapse it straight down to POC, we probably get some sort of build out here now. All right. And if they fail to break this, we can have a look at the high. I would imagine there's some buyers caught at that high. There you go. Buyers just got trapped up here above 60 because they're silly. They started entering aggressively above 60 and right the way up here into 80. And we know that's why I said take profit, everything above 60. And now sellers are taking control. And guess what we're going to do? Probably come right the way back down here when it's ready for all these imbalances. All right, so there's the trade. Here you go. So we're starting to let go of these shelves. And we can, if we start letting go of this POC, right, we can probably bounce between these for a bit. We can see we've developed this now. Right, and if we let go of that, that collapse can still happen. Because remember, the main trend is still bearish. We just expected relief. Right, the main trend is bearish. We expected relief to run these stops, and we can come back into here now if it wants. We talked about this right at the beginning of the session. Look at that, right into POC, into this grey box. So I'm going to thicken this up now to here. I'm going to get rid of this one here because we've traded through it. And these are now the levels that we're trading to and from. What do you get for $649? You get a 20-hour on-demand course. You get a version of this, the Flowzone Pro. You get the Flowzone Momos, very similar. Not quite as powerful, but very similar. And you get free access to the Discord for life. Hi from Wales. Good morning. Good morning. Big game between us tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Start of the Six Nations. Ireland got absolutely pumped last night by France. France looking very dangerous. Do you trade with the same strategy? I'm new to trading. With the same strategy. Same strategy as what? I trade the same way every day. Yeah, exactly, Raf. Very possible. Very possible. Thanks, Alex. Up 9K. Nice. Do you make your developing week profile? Yeah, just draw it on. So you just draw it on an FRRP from the Sunday Open. That's all you have to do. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm living in Los Angeles. They are getting aggressive after that. Look above. Yeah, after that stop run. Remember, you've got news coming up here in the next few minutes. So we'll see. We're very thin down here, looking to 70s, and we still have previous day value very high. Remember, the trap this morning came into the gap. We didn't actually get down to the perfect level. We trapped under here. We reclaimed. That was the long. Boom, 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 boom. Done with it. All right, you're done with it. We can build out here now. The question is on this build out, right? If they fail to make a new high and they lose this, then we're backside back down into here if you really want to trade that. But remember, we are extended to the downside right now. We've just, this move back here, for anyone who's done the course or joins me regularly, guess what? That move back there tapped. Yep, you're right. We just moved from the 200-day back to the lower Bollinger Band, all right, to Sigma. This down here was 3 standard deviation. That was a fucking huge move down to that, all right, to the 200-day where we found that bid, right? Back to Sigma now. Question is, can they lift all the way up here? Not today, I don't think. I think we will build out liquidity now, and then maybe Monday, Tuesday, we have that push and then fail, ideally. We'll see, though, folks. We will see. But what I'm trying to get through to you is we've probably seen the big moves that we want for the week. If we think about what the weekly newsletter said, what we were looking for this week, we've hit the targets. All right, for those who like, what are you on about? All right, here is the weekly newsletter. You guys can read that for me. That's what I put in the bearish scenarios this week. Okay, there are a few setups more attractive than trap participants, and right now bulls remain trapped above 26,000. Weakness entered the market through a classic sell the news reactions and the following failed breakout. It's now on bears to complete the rotation for downside. 25,800 to 25,900 must be defended by sellers unless they intend to spring another trap into the 26,100 pivot. Broader market weakness and fears should begin to surface on a sustained trade below 25,500, opening the door to 425. With acceptance below that, targets 300 and 25,100. A downside expansion will require development of widening of the Bollinger Bands, but if that occurs, there is a significant stop liquidity below 25,000, with the 200-day SMA still there untested for 9 months. We've done it, folks. We've done everything. Every single thing we did already this week. It happened last night. 200-day hit, the end. We don't look for any more downside pressure. We can look for day trades, right? Trading between ranges now, but do not expect expansion downside now. Now we expect liquidity to be built, because like we talk about, the market does not move in one straight direction, all right? We have left volume like this on a daily, all right? We had a look above here. We've cracked this, all right? We've done a huge move. We're in this part now, all right? We're building this part out on a daily, and then we probably do this for a week or two, and maybe this, and then maybe this, all right? That's what we're doing. We're in here, right? We don't want to short. We're trading from here to here. We don't want to short that, do we? Look how extended we are. We don't want to short this move here. You can scalp, right? We can scalp intraday, but we lower our expectations. Whereas yesterday and the day before, when we were leaving volume, when we were leaving value, when we were in expansion, we're looking to slam the holy hell out of it to get down to that 200-day. Hi, Alex. Is reducing position by 50% each TP a good rule in general? Well, it depends how much size you've got on, really. That's a really interesting question. It depends on A, how much size you got on, and B, where we think we're going, all right? So if we're trading like from here and our anticipation is here, then above this, I'm only looking for like 10 to 20%. I'm locking in at each level. Boom, 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 runners, collapse, done with it. All right, we're leaving this now. This trade here now is starting to happen. We just went over this. So we just went from grey box to grey box. There's your bear flag. There's the collapse. Here's the news. Back down to previous day value area high. And if they lose New York Open, we'll come back down to point of control now. This is very similar to yesterday. So we ran the stops one side. We failed to break out and hold. We put in a lower high. We're coming down to previous day value area high. This is current week's developing point of control. So this is fair value. So the question now is, can we find a bid here? All right, because if we can, it means we're not willing to trade into yesterday's value. All right, if we can't find a bid there, it means we're going to do this move down here and retest this level. All right, so the auction now is deciding, was yesterday too cheap, or do we need to retest this? If yesterday was too cheap, they will hold above here and try and reclaim this and try and go back up. But I am expecting a range rotation type of day today. Hello from Manchester. Hello, hello. Probably in the next few weeks, I'll probably try and get to Austin. Maybe next month, if not this month. There's no consistency rule on evals. No consistency rule on evals for Apex. Sorry, guys, I'm just catching up with what you guys are saying. I'm doing the course. Do you think I should join Discord before ending the course? Yeah, you can do. If you just go to the end of the course, there's a module on how to join Discord. You can do that. Past my Apex. Thanks, Alex. Nice, Joey. Nice work. What do I consider a scalp? Yeah, it's 20, 30, 40 points. Sometimes more. But really, like, I'm looking for 100-point trades in a market with this much volatility. Remember, we got the VIX up at like the 20s, right? So it's going to provide huge opportunities for us right now. All right, VIX just undercut previous day low and has found a bid. So we might start getting heavy here. VIX is probably going to come back and retest 1950. Through that, we're going to go 20s. So we're going to watch this area here to see if they trap more sellers here and rebid. And if not, and if they stay heavy here, all right, we might go this is possible. So either we're going to trap here for this drive up and reclaim, or they're going to start washing this far more aggressively. Remember, we did just take out the old highs. SPY hit its 5-day and 50-day, which are together at the same point. Q's got a way to go to get there. All right, starting to see heaviness come back in. So running the stops, coming back down. Funny that, isn't it? Funny how that works. How do I size my stop? We go over this all the time. We size based on where the trade is no longer valid. Do I ever trade supply and demand? Well, it's all the same. Yes, it's exactly what I trade, really. This is potential demand. This is now potential supply. This is potential supply intraday. It's exactly what I trade. S&R, supply and demand, order blocks, call it what the fuck you like. It's just all the same shit, man. People will tell you it's not. It is. Range rotation means Tyson's trade could play better later. That's very true. That is very true. All right, into this value area. You can see right now we're trading right into this value area. There is a big seller that came in at the 800s. All right, so if we get back above him, we might drift back into sort of 30s. There is a huge node developed into 56s. So if they hold 800s, we're probably going to come and test 30s and then 58s, 56s, somewhere up there. If we lose 800s, they're going to come and retest this seller down at 714s. Right, so they're trying to bid off previous day value area high, this area we just talked about. Here we go. So they're lifting it now back towards the 56s. Here you go. Here's the lift. So 30s and then 56s. There's imbalance here at 40. The next imbalance is 50. Then you've got 60s. All right. And then big node into 60s, like you can see right here. There you go. Super simple, right? Previous day value area high. Do they find a bid here? If they do, we're going to rotate to gray box to gray box. All right. So if you wanted to scalp that, that's your scalp. You should be trimming here because if sellers step back in here, they're going to rotate back down to here and we can build out here while they make their mind up. We are inside the opening range. We have had a failed break after running the stops. We're coming back downside. This can build liquidity and it can be used if they really want to come back down to this guy here. You have to understand the conditions today. This is not like a big trending day conditions, right? So lower your expectations today. Who I got on Sunday, Liverpool or City? Hopefully Liverpool, but I'm not convinced. But hopefully for me, being a gooner, it'd be nice if we can stretch out that lead a bit more. Alex, after achieving success, did you go through any difficult phases, such as a series losing days and negative months? Yes, absolutely, of course. Yeah, definitely, man. Like you can't always control the market. What is that, glitchy? Market's been very kind to us recently, but I'm human, right? I will make errors. If I'm not disciplined and I start trading more in range rotation, which is not my A+ setup. What is going on? CME data just gone. I have fucking huge gaps on my charts all of a sudden. Let me just refresh this, guys. Give me a second. My hourly is just, wow. Trading views on one today. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, I got no data from TradingView. The CME data's gone. I have the most huge gap on my hourly, which has just come out of nowhere. Look, what is that? What is that, TradingView? What a joke. What a joke. How are these looking? It's that chart, is it? That's bizarre to me. Bizarre to me. Your data's been bugging all session. It's not good, man. It's really not good. It is really not good. What's up with Topstep always changing the rules? Well, because they're losing too much market share. That's why I don't trade with them. They're assholes. All right, like we said, 800's where that big seller is. All right, 800's right here where that big seller is. Under that, previous day value area high. Under that, we have this trap seller down at 13. So if they lose this, they can flush down towards 13s. All right, so and if they reclaim 800's, we come and retest this again. This is the rotation that we've talked about a few times. I feel a bit blind without that hourly. Don't like that. Do not like that. Let me see if I change time on it. Will it? No, it's just literally got no data. Fucking hell, trading me. Can we trade GC on Apex? No, they just banned it like everyone else. They're all banning metals because traders are gambling on metals and making money. I find it hilarious. Like I find it hilarious. I have seen traders, I'm not going to name names, who, no offense to them, can't read a chart properly. They don't understand what they're looking at. They trade Nasdaq or something else, and they consistently lose money, even though they've traded it for years. and then recently have decided they're going to trade gold or silver. What the fuck are you doing? If you've never traded gold or silver and you cannot trade something which is right in front of you that you've tried to trade for years, why do you think you can suddenly trade another asset which is in the most volatile period of the entire lifespan of it, and you think you are going to be able to trade it, do you? Not surprised these people are blowing up. It's fucking madness, mate. It's like shiny object syndrome, honestly. Oh, it's a new strategy. I'll try that. Oh, it's a new asset. Let me try and try that because other people said it's cool. No, your job's to make money. Fucking take your ego out of it. It's crazy to me. Anyway, who am I? I better shut up. Like I always talk about, I am a patchy bearded, spectacle wearing, 40-year-old, knackered old DJ. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've had a big losing day today from Asia session and don't feel so good. What advice would you tell someone like me? That it's just one day out of your whole career. Close the screens, go and do something that makes you feel good. All right, rotation back to grey box again. So like we said, we're still bidding value, right? We reclaimed 800 where that trap seller is, and we can lift now back up to 60 again. So they are building liquidity out here like we talked about. I'm not going to trade in the middle of this, right? This is the middle of the opening range. This is between 24-hour view up and New York view up. Like I told you, I do not want to trade in here. I have zero interest. If we find acceptance, right? If we find acceptance above here and they base, there is a reshot back up here, maybe up to 25k 50. So there is a trade there if they want it, if they want to do this. But you want to be very careful between these two levels here now. All right, very, very, very careful. 24-hour view up, New York view up, node from yesterday. Hopefully that makes sense for you all. All right, back to this POC. It's like I have a crystal ball. Honestly, it's not. It's just understanding how the market moves. I know it might look that way, but it just isn't. It's you guys can all get here. You guys can all get here. It's not like I've had some. I didn't get kidnapped in a white van and God tell me how the market moves. I just looked at the screens long enough that I understood it. Right. I'm not having NinjaTrader issues. No, I have having TradingView issues. I am having TradingView issues. Okay, so in balance now, back down to 20s. Let's see if they save this or not. Feels like they want to try and save this for a run higher. Balance down there still into 20s. So it's still between these two. Feels like they want to save it somewhere down here and then try and get back through that New York view up, but we will see. So I don't want to trade in this area particularly. Here's the test back down to the imbalance of 20s. There's a big node, like we said, that big seller is at 800. So here's the 20s test, maybe 800 test. We'll see. I'm going to avoid this whole area while they make their mind up what they're doing, because they can set a lower high here, and we can. Don't do that. We can come back down for this. In fact, I'm going to move this now, that old gap, because we filled it. Watching this New York open, so view up to view up again. Still, they're just jumping over each other. They're trying to find a bid here again. If not, they're going to flush all the way down into this. Cannot make their mind up. VIX holding previous day low, coming back up for that 1950, like we talked. 1950. If we get through 1950, then 20s on the VIX is possible. That's when the market will get very, very weak. We keep banging back into this 800, this guy at 800. So it's a big level here of whether they are willing to push through this guy or not. Are they willing to lift it, or do they need now to wash down to 713s? I don't know. They are trying to decide, aren't they? And they're bidding at 50s, so don't look too good. If they snap this, then you're going to get 50s by the looks of it. It's a bit of no man's land bidding 50s, honestly. What are you doing? Choppy chop chop. That's what we expected today. I'm glad we got that first drive out. Willing to play this either on a big breakdown or on a reclaim and push. I'd rather a reclaim and push, but we will see. Just needs to be very, very patient now to just let it set up. A bit like yesterday, right? Once we've used all the liquidity, we now have to be very patient, let that liquidity start to be built out before we make our next decision on what it is we might want to do. So like I said, they keep bidding 50s down here. They might well look for a little tag underneath. And it's almost weird that they wouldn't come and revisit 714s and they would just bid 50s, but we'll see. We'll see what these guys, what their intentions are here. Lots of buyers stacking up down here, and they'll probably get washed out before they do anything else. So VIX through that 1950, might want that 20 retest after taking out previous day low. That 800 still a huge level, right? 800 still a huge level where that seller came in. Big delta there. Look, they're still bidding in front of 50s. Why not just go and swipe it all out? It's beyond me. Back towards the 800 again. Still can't get back through that 800. Still haven't filled the guy at 50s. Guy at 50s, and then remember down here, 14s was the big level. And actually, my VWAP on NinjaTrader is way different to this as well. My 24-hour VWAP is down at 09s. Right, there's 50s filled. They're going to add lower now and try and swipe this by the looks of it, like we talked about. So big seller came in there at 50s again, so he might get trapped if they can't get down to the 14s. So that big seller at 50s might get trapped now as well. Here's the lift. So watching the 800s here. Watching the 800s. Seller definitely got trapped there at 50. You can see it at the lows. He got trapped here at 50. I'm watching the order flow if you're wondering. So watching 800s, if they're going to squeeze back through 800s, we can lift up and fill some of these imbalances all the way back to 60s. So you can see this rotation taking place. They have just trapped now. So watching this to see if they pull back and hold. Yep. Go on then, fill these imbalances higher. Looking for longs just to fill some of these imbalances now towards 40, 50, 60. Needs to hold above 800. Looks good. Looks good. Beautiful. Here's 40s. Here's 50s coming next. Here's 60s. Said I wouldn't trade here, but that guy got caught. Stop moving up now. Want to protect 8-15s here. Filling these imbalances, trimming more off there. So we just tapped 40s. Was hoping we get to 48. Might stop out on the runner here. Not going to sit through this, even though they can pull back and hold, just because we're a bit washy both sides. So out here on the pullback, and we'll wait now. So what did I see there? It's just on order flow, guys. All right, I saw this guy get trapped. See this lot down here, this 50s. He got trapped here, and then we went straight back towards the 800s, and then I joined to fill these imbalances up here. So joined from 800 for this like 40-point move up here, trimming some, and then stopped out break even. I said I wouldn't trade there, but that guy getting caught was just too good to not trade. Maybe you were that big buyer. I doubt it. I doubt it. You're what, the buyer at the high of day at the 920s? I mean, we're talking about thousands of lots. Let me see the delta at 9. Let me see the delta at 920s. The big buyer. Hang on. We're talking about a 445 lot delta. I don't reckon it's you. I got a funny feeling if you're trading 445 lot, it's not you. All right, back to these 50s again. Seller coming in here. We need to get through point of control now. Like I said, there is a chance. All right, if they just feel it's dirty, right? It's dirty what they've done. But they've washed out 50s. Remember I said they wanted to fill 50s. They trapped the seller. They reclaimed. They've come to here. If they reclaim here, the drift will be between these two now as long as they can base above this. Right? If they can't base above this, they can keep rotating in here like they already have. But if they can base above this, this would be the next move. And we do have unfinished business if they really want to get up into there. How do we know when you enter a trade besides the fact of you telling us you're in the trade when you're taking profits? I don't know. Rewind Prodigy again. You're just the same guy over and over again. Dude, I'm not going to hold your dick. It might be ugly for all I know. Why does it matter when I'm entering the trade when I'm telling you what you want? Why does it matter? So what you're telling me is you don't know how to trade and you want someone to just signal you. And that's how you think you're going to make a career trading. That's the truth of what you're saying. That's the real truth of what you're saying. When you digest everything you're saying, what you're telling me is you have no idea how to trade. And you want me to trade for you. And you are willing to bet on my positions from me saying, I am getting long at this level, even though there's a lag and that you already don't know how to trade. That's what you want to do. Crazy. I totally bet on you over me. Don't know. Just don't. Don't bet on me over you. Like, I have to be reactionary, guys. Like, you don't understand. Like, if I'm seeing someone trapped there and I see the reversal, I've got to take it then and there. Right? I can't be like, there's going to be a guy trapped here for sure. 100%. I'm ICT. I know. No, we don't know until he comes on the book. All right, here we go. So we just talked about that for a guy that wants me to spell everything fucking out. All right, there's the trap. If we get through there, we're going to go grey to grey. And if we lift here, there is a potential to take out this high of day and come up for 25,050. I don't know, maybe rewind the last 30 seconds. Grey to grey, there's grey to grey for you. Do you want me to, shall I hold it? Is it that big or that big? 2 hands? Finger? I don't know. You tell me. I'm sorry, I'm being an arsehole, but geez, man. There's never like a thanks. It's always something like that. Okay, back to value area high. And if we get acceptance through this potential stop run, we know buyers got trapped at the high of day, don't we? All right, where did those buyers start getting aggressive? 944s. All right, so we know buyers got aggressive at 944s. So you would want to be trimming some profits into 44s. Into 44s. Brett, that's all it. All the things that you're asking for are all in the courses. 2 hands. One of you needs 2 hands. Jeez. We've got Dirk Diggler over here. I love it. I'm not in this long. No. I'm not in the long. I took the long from here to here, right? And I stopped out because I didn't want it to come and retest this node down here, which it did. So if I'm playing a squeeze, I don't want it to like wash me out. So I took this to this. Was it that one? Yeah, this to this. All right, and stopped out on this part. What did I risk? I think I said I was going to risk 15s. I think I was risking that low volume node there, hoping that would hold. All right, so grey box to grey box again. Over and over and over again. They're going to keep rotating. We are not in a trend day, remember. We're not in a trend day. We're in a rotational day. Caught over 100 points on 2 micros for the 3rd time today. Look at that. 100 points with 2 micros. There's 400 points for your 3rd time. 4, 8, 12. $1,200 trading 2 micros. There you go. That is how to trade. I'm not grumpy. I'm good. What indicator on Thinkorswim is similar to the grey boxes? I'm just drawing these on. This is not an indicator. This is stuff I'm drawing on. It is just understanding volume. What is my approach to prop evals? Do you go heavy size and pass them as quick as possible? Do you take your time and use the same risk management? I will be honest. I'm at a point in my career where I go heavy. So I would not advise you guys do that. But I'm at a point in my career where I call it time delta, time decay. I don't want to waste time in props. So I'm at a point where, I can often be right and pass them very, very quickly. But I would not advise you guys do that. I'll be honest. I don't think it's how you should do it. But if I'm transparent with you, I'm aggressive with them at this point in my career. I do not have time to waste. Yeah, I use prop firms. Yeah. Sorry. Instead of teaching you, can I just have your login? I'd probably get arrested for that. I'm also technically not allowed to tell you buy this, sell this. All right, I'm not a financial advisor, so technically that would be illegal as well. So technically I can't do that. Although I have told you numerous times where I expect the market to go, my expectations, where I expect rotations to happen, even swing positions where I'm considering getting long on swing positions. What's your IQ handling trades and channel with analysis and crowd education? Damn, you're a rock star. I have no idea what my IQ is. I wouldn't say it's that high. I'm not like very intelligent person. I'm a very hard-working person. I wasn't like a huge high achiever at school or university. I had to work hard for it. Learning doesn't necessarily come easy for me. All right, they drifted this back to the POC. Look at this developing POC from the currently weekly profile. They just drifted back to it, caught a bid. Reclaimed great. They're just going to keep rotating. There is a chance to get up here, but low-hanging fruit, we've already run it, right? That first move here today was the low-hanging fruit trade. We expect, look at what we're developing here, right? Anyone tell me, what is this? What type of profile is that? What is this? Right, so what do we expect from that profile? What footprint do I use? As in on NinjaTrader, I assume you mean. I use, it's called Cidi, but the provider is, I can never remember the name. Where's Discord? I always have to scroll down. The provider for it is Twin Peaks. I use Twin Peaks. But you can use footprint on here, just on TradingView as well. I don't think it's quite as good, but it's pretty good. All right, we're trying to lift for these imbalances. So you can see, like I said, 44s is where they got really stuck. They are trying to fill some of these sell side. We can also think about, this. You're coming into golden pocket. So if you get lucky, fill some of this. But I would not guarantee that you get over all of it because we are in a rotation. And where's the top of the rotation? Well, right now it's right here to here. No acceptance below, no acceptance above yet, unless we're going to start doing this and moving value higher. It's possible. But these are my least favorite days to trade. Anyone who turns up regularly will know that. Can I hold the D shape for you? Yeah. Is FTMO so bad? I've never traded with them, so I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. Calypso, $1,700 on 6 accounts with 2 micros. Nice. What was my low-hanging fruit? Low-hanging fruit today was the run of the stops on the hourly. I cannot show you it right now because, unfortunately, this has gone down. I don't know why, but we had hourly stops like here. Maybe I can show it to you on the lower time frame and just put in an hourly chart here and it won't be annoying. No, I've got no data. I don't know why. What we have to deal with as retail is ridiculous, right? And maybe I can see it here. Maybe it will show me here. Okay, this was the low-hanging fruit for me. See these stops right here, right? 960s. Can you see this stop right here? All right, so if I was swing short, think about how the market operates. All right, we were swing short, or we were short here. Right, so we left for yet another time. We left volume trapped. We drifted down. We did a 2-leg, and they got short here, right? And then we collapse down and we get the 200-day. So most people would cover like 80% of their position into that 200-day. All right, then we start to recover. All right, so there we start to recover. All right, so where are they going to run? They're going to run the swing stops here. All right, so they run the swing stops out, which means what? Above that mark, retail starts buying because they're silly. Also, at that mark, anyone who is short becomes stops out and becomes a cover. That cover is a market buy order, right? Once we get enough market buy orders, right, then it gives the opportunity for bigger hedge funds to sell into, because you cannot just sell without someone on the other side. So I will give you an example here. Let's say someone overnight bought 10,000 contracts down here long, right, off the 200-day, right? Let's just say someone bought 10,000 contracts long, a hedge fund, right? Where are they going to sell that? They're going to need to sell that where there is going to be a seller, a buyer. So if they're going to sell their 10,000 contracts long, they're going to need a buyer of 10,000 contracts long. The easiest place for that to happen is in a swing point, because here, let's say we have 5,000 retail traders get long for the breakout, and let's say we have 5,000 short swing traders stop out, 5,000, right? Plus 5,000 is 10,000, because we've got 5,000 market order buying for retail, and we've got 5,000 sell stops, which become market buy orders, which means this can pair off this without being seen on the book. Boom, perfect. All right, and that's how the market operates with big size. That's why it hunt stops. When everyone wants to know why does it hunt stops, that's why it hunt stops. It's for the auction, for a pairing, because remember, we cannot complete an auction. We cannot shake hands on anything unless there is a buyer and a seller, and one has got to be aggressive and one's got to be passive, right? What do I mean by that? One's going to be market side and one's going to be limit side, right? So if we have up here, all right, if we have stops up here, they are going to be market buy orders, all right? A sell stop, a sell limit there will actually becomes a market buy order. And if we're buying here and we want to sell up there, we can put a limit order. So we're going to be a passive seller and we're going to use the aggressive buyer, and that is where the auction is done. That's where we complete and shake hands. If you just have two limit orders, right, on the book, if someone's only willing to buy down here and they're only willing to sell up here, this is what the spread is, right? And until someone agrees, oh, I'm going to actually sell down here, or I'm actually going to buy up here, no deal is done. Like I always talk about the Rolex, right? Someone owns a Rolex Daytona. They want to sell it for $50,000. And Alex is a cheapskate and he wants to buy it for $30,000, all right? And there's no one in between. If that's the auction, right, no deal is done. Right, until we agree price, until this guy says, do you know what, I'm now willing to sell for $40,000, and Alex says, do you know what, I'll meet you there, I'll buy it for $40,000, then we complete the auction and a deal is done, right? That is literally what's happening every second of every candle. So when we look at the DOM, when you understand what's actually going on in the auction, when someone says, I'm reading the tape, it's not fucking candles. That really pisses me off. This is the tape, the level 2, or technically the tape is the time in sales. Right, and the way we're jumping up and down is we are filling orders. So these are market orders, these are limit orders. This guy here is a passive seller at 9.15. All right, 100 lot passive seller at 9.15. To fill him, we're going to need to have an aggressive buyer, a market buyer at 9.15, and it's going to have to be 102 lot size or more. Hopefully that makes sense. You're having the same issue on your trading view. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? It's annoying. I don't know, guys. I don't know why trading view's being shite today. I have no idea. I think CME have had some issues this week, honestly. Up 1K today due to your teaching. Nice call outs. Nice work. All right, still going grey box to grey box. All right, grey box. Look at value starting to increase. So remember, 44s. Look, so see on this auction, we have just taken out this passive seller. So there was a passive seller there. Look what happened right here, this bubble. 192 lot bought the market. All right, that's an aggressive buyer. And above him, 47 lot. So we filled the passive seller with an aggressive buyer. Now they were trying lift to the next level and the next level. But look at this here, 918. All right, 918, we have 445 lot offside. So I know at 918, all the time we're above 918, we can be bullish because that is a big buyer who's now comfortably in the money, and they will try and lift to 950. If we come back under 18, then we have that buyer offside. That's how I read delta in the book. All right, so grey to grey, through the grey, we're going to look for high of day. All right, so this is starting to set up now. I'm not in this, but this is starting to set up now, like we talked about. And I'd be watching them move towards 44. So I tell you right now, there was a buyer stuck at 50. I'm going to give you the levels. There was a buyer stuck at 50, and then the next buyer is stuck at 73. All right, and we are starting to lift. So if you want to mark these on your chart, 18 is a big level, 50 is a big level, and 73 is a big level. And that ain't guesswork. That ain't some fucking fair value gap or anything like that. That is actual orders which took place on the book, which you will only be able to see if you are actually watching the book. Sorry, guys, catching up with what you're saying now. How am I seeing this? What do you mean? I'm seeing the thing. The chart I just showed you was Bookmap. Okay, so you can see it on Bookmap, or you can use footprints. You will not get delta side reads of delta on footprint. All right, it's the only thing I don't like. But on NinjaTrader, right, if you want to see how I see it on NinjaTrader, I have a delta footprint on the side. So this is a big buyer here who came in, right, at 18 or 17, whatever I called it. There's a big buyer stuck at 50, and there's a big buyer stuck at 72. There's a seller stuck underneath us at 88, and the big seller that we used to move higher today was right down here at 50. All right, see this red line? Maybe you can see that. Maybe I've got to move this up. All right, this is where these sellers are stuck, these lows. Right, so we've got sellers stuck at the lows down here. We've got a seller currently stuck at 87s, but we've got buyers stuck into 50. So a buyer here, 18, 50, and 72. So we want to be aware of those guys, because if they get the chance to get out break even or near, there's a good chance they will, right? Unless we see real aggression stepping through. So if you've got to think about the psychology, imagine you bought up here in these levels and you didn't stop out, right? And you held this whole thing. When it comes back up to that level, what are you going to do? Probably get out break even, right? Probably just get out break even, right? So that's like the psychology of the market. We trap buyers at the highs, which is what we sold into because we weren't stupid. We weren't buying up there. We bought here and sold here. You could sell this low, back down. Seller got stuck down here. We come back up to these buyers. They probably get out break even. We might build liquidity. Maybe it does this. Maybe it does this. We're in a D shape. We don't fucking care. We make our money. We move on, right? But we always respect who's trapped in the market. Always, always, always. On multiple time frames, we respect who is trapped in the market. So right now we build liquidity for the upside. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know if this profile's off now. I'm kind of struggling to trust this because I don't know if it's adjusted with this gap or not. But yeah, like if we think about this, right, remember we talked about the very beginning of the day. This is the current week's volume. Okay, today we've had no acceptance under this, have we? So all of this overnight, no acceptance. Trend is still very much down, and we're coming into this area, right? If we find acceptance over this area, we're going to probably attack this area here, 25,050. There is a node here. There's a big reason to get up there. It's very possible we come up there. I would not, through that, you could say 25,140s through that, 25,266s through that, 25,400s. Do I think we're going to do that today? No. Do I think we're going to do that next week? Yeah, I think probably next week, all right, we might see something like this and then a resell down into here. And then the market will need to make a decision. Are we going to have the 5-day, 200-day cross? And then we're going to start trend lower? I don't know. We can judge that when it happens, right? What I'm talking about there is when we see big trades downside. Remember, we hit the 200-day. If we're going to go trend down, we're going to need, liquidity to be built out in here. We're going to need the 5-day to come down here. We're going to need to sell that and get the cross. And then, and only then, can we think about this node here and trading under that, this node here and this node here. And who knows if they got really thin down here. I tell you what, if we come down here, fucking hell, I'm buying everything that moves. Everything that moves. Because that would be what, 20, 20% down off the highs. Will it even be that much? Might not even be that much. 16% down, yeah. If we come down 12%, what are we now? We hit a low of 9% down. It's not that much. If we can get down there, I'd be a very happy man. Very happy man for multiple reasons. Remember, the lower we go, the more panic we get, the more opportunity we get to buy in discount. For ETFs, I'm talking about mainly. I did start some swing longs yesterday, like we talked about at the beginning of stream. I have Global Plus, Rick, but I think you probably only need Global, but I do have Global Plus. I got it in the sale, though. What indicator is that called? Why can I never remember it? I'm going to post it for you. Twin Peaks for NinjaTrader. It's paid. I'll tell you now, it's paid. It's a paid indicator. There's the link. I think when my taxes come in, I'm going to buy this course. I've lost more money shooting the dark. Yeah, you're welcome to join anytime you want. Do I help learning one-on-one on course? I don't really do. I do some help privately for people, but we don't really do one-on-ones. I don't have the time. But what we're trying to do this year is a group lesson of an hour or more every 2 weeks. So I do a group lesson every 2 weeks, and that's the chance where students can ask any question that they want, and we review trades and set up, so we help people. But I'm always answering DMs. All right, if you ask anyone in chat who's been in my Discord, those who reach out in DMs, I will take time out my day to help people. I do not charge. I want you guys to do well. Right, so it's not about the money. I genuinely want you guys to do well, but I just don't have a huge amount of time on my hands all the time. How many screens do I have, and how different are the charts on order flow? So over here, what you're watching, I have a 1 minute normal bar chart. Then I have a 5 minute. Then I have an hourly. Then I have a daily. In front of me, I have a 1 and a 5 and a 30 for order flow on NinjaTrader. Here above that, I have my Bookmap for order flow with the DOM. And here I have SPY. I have ES, SPY, QQQ, and the VIX. All right. I never answer you. Have I never answered you? That can't be true. That can't be true. Oh, yeah, I see you said joking underneath. Is volume profile on the right anchored to 9:30 open? Yes. Just read the Nightbot. It tells you. It tells you. Hey, chat, is the course worth buying for $699? Well, it's actually only $649 at the moment. But everyone can tell you if it's good or not. What's my bias today? Bias today is rotation. My bias today is rotation. How do I put it on the right side? Right here. Anchored volume profile, placement right. So if you go from input to style, placement right. When does the Tyson trade come into effect? Well, at the moment, we're not at either IB. So ES is at the IB high. Right, ES is at the IB high. We're not there. So we would need to see, remember 44s, what did we say? I'm going to have to remember these levels, where those buyers were stuck. Right, we're tapping into one now. So 50s and then 73s. So the Tyson trade would come into effect if we get stuck either inside the IB or ideally for an IB failure. So ideally it would be a breakout and a failure back under, and then you could trade back down to view up. But look at how everything's sloping today, folks. D-shaped profile, flat VWAPs, like over-under flow zones. Right, it's 44s is where I said 44s to 50s. So his actual level is 50.25. Right, so see this reaction. We just talked about this guy right here. See this guy right here. We've just come short of him, so he's probably starting to try and get out now. We had another buyer step in at 19s. All right, so there could be a failed push here. There could easily be a failed push here, especially with the divergence with ES. Right, ES taking out the IB high. So ES might offer that trade, potentially. It still hasn't taken out previous day high, so it has a reason to go higher, the ES. But if they're going to do a rotation on ES, you'd want to see this sort of break and then fail and then come down into these. But just lower your expectations today. All right, we're in a rotational market today. This is not like the last 2 days where we've been like gunning for 3, 4, 500 point trades. All right, it's a different market today. Understand like when to attack, when not. Last few days, A plus setup, right? A plus setup. We attack, we attack, we attack, we attack. Today, B, C setups. How long I've been traded? Full time 6 or 7 years, but like I said, I started about 20 years ago, but then had another career for a while. You consider any rotation trades with D shape? Yeah, D shape for rotation, but also think about the daily, right? It's a pullback day, right? So it's a pullback day, but we already did most of this happened overnight, all right? So it's very possible we just sort of bugger about in here for a while, all right? Very, very possible we do that, and then next week we can see what's what. So kind of like this is a fail. It's a look below and fail, right? If you think about where we opened, look below and fail, back in inside bar, right? Look below and fail, inside bar. So there's your first clue. Second clue is profile. Third clue, initial balance, right? IB, right? Lots of reasons, right? Where's previous day low? Down here, right? So look below and fail. Previous day low. Look below and fail. You can see we looked below. Rejected, failed, reclaimed, held. All right, there's your look below and fail overnight. That's your cue to go long. All right, what's the ultimate target? Ultimate target would be previous day high right the way up here because that's the high of the previous day. Right, so we're an inside bar in here. So that is your first clue that it's probably going to be choppy. The New York session opened up where, like here, right? So here to here is what I'd be looking at, maybe just here to here, and here's the profile. Right, so all of this can be chopped. I know that's a huge range. It is a massive range. There's no way of denying it. But all this here can just chop all day long. And what will it also do by doing that on a Friday? It will burn the options out, right? Burn all the premiums. If they lift, like we talked about, this level is open to become an attack. Question, boss. Multiple dojis back to back signals uncertainty, but what else can it signal? That's kind of all. You mean a doji both sides, or do you mean like a doji high and then you mean like a doji low? I mean, it just signals liquidity being trapped here, trapped sellers here, trapped buyers. If you looked inside those wicks, that's what you would see on multiple dojis. Here, fair value basically, and then you have to wait for them to make a decision. When I check MSTR, yeah, I'll check MSTR and Microsoft View shortly. Let's just see if this gets going here. So there is a player up at 25,000 right now. ES through its IB. Can we get up to the IB? So we're through that first guy. Remember, we're through that first buyer. The next buyer that got stuck was at 73. So if you think about what we did, this seller down here caused the pain. This is your high low. This is bullish right now. Reclaimed grey box, into next grey box, held grey box. 73 would be the next target because of that's where the trap player is, and through that run the highs and then up here. If you got really lucky to come all the way up here. I don't think we will do that today. I think this might be the max effort today. Let me just check on the book to see if anyone is up. 25,000. Is there anyone at the 100s? Oh my god, there is. Is there anyone at 150s? Thin. So 100 is a level on the book. I don't think we'll do that, but who knows? Who knows? Everyone's covering their shorts. They're all going to keep getting squeezed. All right, so 73s. If you're long in this, 73s is a level to watch. All right, I haven't said this today. So was 1,400 of you watching at one point. We're just under 1,300 right now. We've only got 400 likes. I want to do giveaways, as I always do, which means you guys have got to do your bit. You want to win some giveaways, free courses, free Apex accounts, then you've got to smash that like button for me. Yeah, the bi-weekly group training we do record and they get posted for anyone that's in Discord. So if they're not there, they can watch it back at any time. Yeah, absolutely. And then Coop, he's not well this week, but normally Coop does a class every Saturday morning as well. Link for the course, the link's pinned at the top of chat right now. So if you click on that, Smart Link, is that the right word? Whatever it is, the courses are in there. You want to do the beginner to advanced course. And am I going to take any trades today? Well, I absolutely nailed this long straight up. So these are my least favorite trades down here. So we nailed 2 longs today. So I was long from here to here, and I was long from here to here, or wherever it was, somewhere in this. So it's 2 longs. I'm good with that right now. I don't want to become liquidity, so I'm just being patient now. All right. For me personally, these are my, like I always talk about, these are my least favorite days when we build liquidity. I like attacking the market. When we leave liquidity and it's a Friday, and anyone that's joined me this week will know, like, we have captured thousands of points this week, quite literally thousands of points. Yesterday, some of you caught a 330 point short. Yeah, separate layouts for each of my timeframes, correct. Does the free course cover volume profile? There is a little bit of volume in the free course. No, the free course does not cover volume profile. Sorry, the free course does not, definitely not. But there is stuff on my channel for free. If you go to YouTube, there's a whole section on volume profile and order flow for free. How do we get a chance to give away? Maybe we'll do a giveaway in the next 10 minutes. So failed that high, so never got to the 73s. Trading back down to this grey box again. Okay, you can see, so we cleared out this buyer who was stuck. We never got up to this buyer, and we're trading right back down to this shelf here at 60s with an imbalance here. This is why I don't trade rotation. I do not enjoy these moves, but if you guys like edges, those of you who like rotation, well, that is a failure again of the high. We didn't quite make the IB high, but ES has just done the IB high to VWAP trade. We've missed it. We're almost there. Like we said, might do a lower high and come. There it is. If we look at ES, it's done it very well. The Tyson trade, as we call it. All right, IB high clear out. IB high clear out. And there's VWAP. Bingo, bango. Grey box, 2 grey box again. So this node, we can thin this out a bit here now. It's starting to become a bit cleaner. And if we lose this, again, we'll probably drift all the way back down here again, as we just continue to rotate all day. That is the objective of today, remember, is to rotate and build out liquidity. Norton's blocking my link. Yes, someone else said that. All right, let me just try this. There you go. There's Tyson in chat. Dark Nougat. Well, I'm sure Dyson just absolutely murdered that then. The candle above my red line is an order block. Line to the left. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about this. Oh, it's an order block because it's the pivot. Oh, yes, it's an order block. Also known as supply, where a buyer is trapped for anyone normal. How do would I determine we lost a shelf for entry? Well, this was very ugly. This was not an easy. I wouldn't call this an easy trade, but if we came to the order flow, you'd probably see buyers getting caught up there again. There you go. So here, so I'd say under here was the trigger. All right, aggressive buyers, sellers paired off. There's your trigger. Failed to reclaim. There's more trigger. That's probably it. Shift of delta, positive to negative. And back down, potentially down to 820s now if they lose this grey box. And we can keep fading all the way back down. I've got value area low at 26s. On here we have it at 20. So we'll see this area here now, a big node. And like I said, we still have that player. 800 was a big volume level. It's less of a big level now because we paired off that delta. But it was a big volume level. I just think we're just going to chop all day long here, folks. We're just going to keep chopping. Sorry, for anyone normal. Yeah, it's me being an arsehole. Doesn't matter what you call it. Doesn't matter. All right, this is developing point of control. So we're coming down to these 820s, like I said. Here's the edge of value again. So they're trying to bid off the edge of value because we're in a D shape. So we're just rotating that D shape. For me, Miles, I look at both, but 1 minute when I'm looking to execute, right? If I'm looking to execute, like down here, I'm looking on the 1 minute, all right? If I'm just looking to see where players have built up, I can look on the 5 minute. But when I'm executing, I'm going down into the lower time frame. Yeah, 820, beautiful here. Right into that node, right into value area low, back to grey box. So the question now is this, right? Back to grey box. If they sell grey box and they come under 820, do we come back to previous day value area high? We know there was a participant who got stuck today down at 750s, right? So do they come back down into here, and do they come back down to 750 and let him out where that VWAP will be? All right, 750s. Possibly. Doesn't there's lots of levels to get through first, right? 20s, previous day, current point of control. All right, so this can still be a very deep pullback. It could be a very deep pullback, could be a very deep pullback. They could reclaim and have another go at it again, right? Because we're in this, right? We're not in a trend. We are not in a trend. There you go. So they're still bidding 20s back to grey box. If they reclaim grey box, they're going to go next grey box. If they reject this grey box, they're going to try 20s again. Then they're going to try 800s. Then they're going to try 80s. And then the player is stuck at 50s, remember, down here. All right, so rotation, 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 rotation. You see why I don't like it? Yes, my hourly charts have just come back. Wow, CME. They just realized that they'd turned data off for TradingView, had they? It was nice of them to turn it back on. There you go. So Sam just took $300 trade off using the D shape and trap buyers at 950 using your insight. Thank you so much. You're welcome. This stream's going to get way too popular. Well, probably. It's probably going to piss off a lot of people, including prop firms, because you guys are going to, well, hopefully you guys are going to start learning how to make good money here by trading good areas. So grey box reclaimed now. So we're watching this node and through that back up to where we just came from. And I will have a look if there's some imbalances up there. There are. So a seller came in here at 87. A buyer came in here at 80. If they lift through 87 and 80, we will look for 900 and then 914. A big buyer is at 918. All right, so a big buyer is offside in 918 in here. This is where a big buyer is offside. All right, so he's out of position right now. So this move here, we'll have to see how we react. If we do not get through that, right, then he will remain out of position. We can use that back down again. If you're going to scalp, like I said, I'm avoiding all of this shit. This is not a market I like, but I can read it for you. I just don't like trading it. Don't enjoy it. Do not enjoy it. So I'll be watching here through 88, then I'll be watching 900, and then that buyer who's stuck at 918. They're going to try and lift towards him at the moment. All right, how are we doing for likes, folks? How many likes have we got? Can we do a giveaway yet? 1,300 of you watching. Wow, over half of you have not hit that like button. Let's just get this up to at least 800 likes, ideally 1,000, and we'll do a giveaway now. Maybe we'll do one giveaway now and one giveaway in another hour. I know it's crazy, the growth of the channel at the moment. It's insane. I'm very, very grateful for it. But I think it's a mix of two things. YouTube has suddenly noticed me, and I think I'm trading pretty well. And that probably helps you guys make more money, and then you tell your friends, and then they make more money, and then they tell their friends, and it's one of those things. All right, so back up to this level we just talked about. All right, so 900's coming up here. So 900 through that. You're looking for that trapped trader. If you're long right? You want to trim some into 900, trim some into 918s, and then see if you get acceptance. Otherwise, this can be another lower high and come right down to VPOC, which is at 60s right now, right down here. And if they fail 60s, they will rotate back down here again. So you're going to need this gray box to hold. For any of you who bought the edge of this, if you bought the edge, right, if you bought that, you need this to hold. You want 900s and then that, and then you're holding runners above that. Above this, you will get going. Nice hold there of that level, beautiful. So watching this now, if you're long on this, you're watching this to take some profits into 918s. All right, 918s is where he's stuck. Keep telling you 900 and then 918s is where he's stuck. And then if you can start printing above this gray box, then like I said, this can just be one of these and you might have a shot at that. You might have a shot, but again, this is your edge on the day. This is where you're building volume. Currently, no acceptance above, no acceptance below. Your rotation is 943 to 825. So there's 110, 120 points in there. Understand the type of day we're in. All right. Until that changes, that's the type of day we're in. You found me from Austin's podcast. Nice. Yeah. I'm very thankful for Austin for doing that with me. Good guy. He's a good dude. I like him. How do you know there'll be consolidation before it starts? How did you know the market was about to go into balance? How can you catch it early? It's about, like we talked about, it's about understanding like what the higher time frame has done. So if you think about this week, right? If we think about this week, I'm going to go daily, right? What did we set up? Anyone who's been with me for the last few weeks, well, there's your gap fill. That's the efficient market. That's your failed breakout of range, right? Here was most of the range. This is like a balanced range since the 5th of November that we keep talking about, all right? No acceptance below, no acceptance above, but finally failed breakout. Anyone who does Wyckoff, there's your spring. Down to the bottom side, failed to make a new high, break out of that range, leave that range. What are we going to do? All these guys who are long are about to stop out. Cascade effect, right? Right, huge sell into what? Big pivot, all right? Not just a big pivot on here, a yearly pivot, all right? Yearly pivot, 200-day moving average. We're going to bid off that. We opened up the session here. So Globex bid off the 200-day, and we bid up to here. When we're here, are we expecting continuation right now when we've just done a fucking ginormous straight down move? No, we're not. Are we expecting relief to come too much higher out of when we've done this huge move in Globex? No. What are we expecting? Probably an inside bar, look below and fail. All right, probably that. We're going to respect the nodes on the developing week. All right, and then we can zoom into the lower time frames, hourly and stuff, to get some edge. So when we moved into the hourly, we knew, right, that we had look below. We already talked about it. Look below and fail. We're probably going to see a drift up into some of this consolidation. We know this node here is absolutely massive, and we have a low volume node on the edge of shelf here. This is where we keep getting stuck. So we're driving into this. If we find acceptance over this shelf, that's when we can get that 25,050s into here. If they're going to keep going, then we can run these stops up here, but we don't expect it to be too big because here is the move down. We expect this, right? And after that, they will decide what they do with it. All right. So it's more about understanding what's gone before us, like what's happened just before. Okay, so still you're starting to drift higher now. So we are through. A big buyer and seller just came in and paired off at 18. So you're still watching for that 50s, right? You're still watching for 50s. Even 40s now you got to respect because it's the edge of value. But I think you have a chance to drift higher here. There is a buyer stuck at 50. So you need to make sure you take some profits. And if we start closing above 50s, you will probably get a new high of day. So here's the edge of value, 40s. We've got 50s next. Show you what I'm looking at. We've got 50s next. We've got this buyer here who's stuck. We're going to come and tag into him. See, there you go. Tapping into him. He's probably front running a little bit of that. We have an imbalance through that. So the question is now, do they end this auction here? Or are they going to start to base out here and attack up here into 70s again? So what was that high there? We just hit 47. I think they're going to re-squeeze this and try and get into this 50 and see if they get going here. Hopefully you guys are learning with me as we go. All right. Which prop firms do I use? They're all on my channel. My 5 main prop firms I use: Apex, Take Profit Trader, Funded Next, Lucid, and Tradeify. Those are the 5 main ones for me. Those are my top 5. Code FCT for all of those. Other than Take Profit, you can use code FlowZone. All the links are down below. I've got a video on YouTube which you can watch, which will explain which prop firm is good for you based on your trading style, your experience, because they all have different benefits. England rugby, yeah. I was watching Cole Marler highlight all yesterday. When they were, Dan Cole and Marler. I was watching Marler and Danny Kerr. They did a grill up session. That's quite funny. What are the grey boxes, guys? Again, I'm pretty sure I put it in Nightbot. Grey boxes are my volume areas. All right, are there areas of volume where I know it's important? Okay, here you go, guys. So you've just cleared out 50. So you have to see if you find acceptance now. You'd want dips to hold 50 down to 44s. The next buyer whose trapped is at 74. Through that, you're going to get a higher day squeeze. All right, so now this is looking more and more possible. All right, so we just think about what happened. They trapped down here again, right, into value, into rotation. They've now thinned down, thin back up. If they hold bids here now, this is possible, right? Anything above this is a take profit area into this. If you got very lucky, they come up here. I don't think we're going to do it today, but possibly into here. Once we get above that, all right, if they fail back underneath it, guess what? That trade back down might happen, especially if we move value up here and then we lose value and we can rotate it again back to POC and VWAP. Okay, so you need to hold sort of 50s down to sort of 40s here. 50s to 40s need to hold. Bullish hold need to be there. If they let go of that, you're going to get a move to 18 very, very quickly. So if you're still long, you want 50s and 40s to hold here. You do not want it underneath 40s. It will drift down to 20s very quickly if they are going to be nasty with it. So it's the 40s back into the 40s here. Sorry, every time it flicks like that, it's because I have to get the chat up because I don't have room. Fucking hell, it's amazing. Chat now telling me what I need to do. Great. Nothing's changed. It's not like we've moved loads. I've told you what's happening. Guys, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. What brokerage am I using? For my swings, 212, and for, here you go, is a pop of high day. So potentially now 25.50s. So big delta there, all right? That was was that 600 lot who just came in there? 789 lot buy side at 980, all right? That's fucking huge, guys. All right, so 789 lot just came in buy side at 980. So if we come back underneath 980, we know there is a 700, we're just going to call them an 800 lot, will be stuck there, okay? Here you go. On this screen, it only shows us 500, but it was on Bookmap. I can tell you right now, it was considerably more. Right, so potentially I'll be locking in some profits here and holding to see if you get a squeeze out into here now. Right, so they set that lower high, higher low, sorry. So they've set the higher low, held this base, rotated, TP into here, and then if you get lucky, you get these moves. Very lucky would be up there. I don't think we will do that today, but we will see. Again, using order flow here, we now know where people's pain points is. Look at this guy on Bookmap with me. This guy right here, 789 lot market buyer. That is a huge buy order. Price will need to stay above that. They might let it drift a little bit lower, but if they start losing this guy and he starts becoming stuck, you will see a big sell. So we're coming back to test that level, right? So we're watching these now. If these start to stay heavy, you will see an IB collapse. So remember, you can mark out 80s, basically IB, right? Just under IB. 80 is the big level. If we start rejecting this, we can come right down here. We've just cleared this out. I'll be watching these nodes here, and they can let go of this whole thing. That big buyer the other big buyer came in at 50s. So here you go. They're starting to sell back down. They're going to test this here into 50s. If they fail to reclaim 80s, there's a sell. If they reclaim 80s, there's a re-squeeze. It's just based on order flow. I'm telling you what I'm seeing based on order flow. All right. I know that there's a huge player at 80s. So that's the big level here, whether they reject that or not. Does he get comfortable or not? So this is like the Tyson trade. It might well set up here. There's lots of buyers at the high. It just depends how much further they want to squeeze this or if they're done with it. Right. There is a target up here if they really want to come for it. Here's 75s. Do they test 80s here? And then does that buyer get out and become a seller at 80, or does he just reclaim and re-squeeze? There's 80 test. They're stacking here. 95 now has a 500 lot in it. We're starting to see some big size. We're back to 80s. They're putting more liquidity higher here. So if we lift through 80s, we're probably going to come to 995. Again, starting to get stuck here a little bit at 80s. They're looking for 995 here on a lift. So reclaiming 80s. This is a big sensitive area here now. Huge, huge level now. This is the most volume we've seen for quite some time. Some big, big players. Big players. This is not retail. This is big players deciding what we're doing next, whether we're going to squeeze up to 25.50 or not. They're going to look for 995 here, where there's a 500 lot. Here we go. They try and lift to that 995. You can see him on Bookmap above me. They just fell short of him. Still a 500 lot there, looking to get filled. A seller at 995, and then through that 25,000, and then we'll probably get going to 25,050. So 995, let's see if they fill this guy. Still not filled. He's legit. He's staying on the tape. He's legit. 510 lot here. He's moved up. He pulled. Spoofer. Spoofed it. Literally the moment he went to get tapped, he pulled it. Right, back down. What a nasty bastard. Right, back down to the 80s then. So we've got a big buyer who has been there at 80s. All the time he's in position, he's okay. If you start to see drifts under this, it can get very, very nasty, back down to value area high potentially. But that player so far is okay. That player so far is okay. And they can drift up here. So if they put on a big old squeeze, they can drift up here if they want to put on a big old squeeze. How much is Bookmap monthly? I'm not even sure. It's not very expensive. No, I'm not currently in, guys. I'm not currently in. I'm watching. I'll consider a fade. If we come up here and we start failing, I will consider a fade. But I don't want to be front side on it. I want it to perk out if we're going to do that, because it's possible if they want to be really dirty that they come all the way up for previous day high. So I don't want to be front side on something above IB. Right, but if we leave trap volume, if we come up here, or even if we do this, and this, there's a fade back down to there. So I will consider that move if we leave this, or if we poke through that and we leave excess up here, and then we collapse back down, I'd consider that. Otherwise, I'm not touching it. Where's that next node? 70s, where's this? 2540s, yeah, same level. Okay, some buyers starting to get caught at these highs a little bit, but still no collapse back down. We're still, that 80s is still the big level, right? 980s is your big level. Back to these 80s, back to this IB high. Right, we still have this big player. You can see this big buy. He's still comfortable right now. So they tried to sell through him, couldn't get through him. He's still comfortable until he's out of position. There's no short trade here because we can still lift. So we have to wait for it to be backside and him to be out of position. CVD is still very, very, very strong. Very strong. Patient, just patient, guys. Patient. If you're long, there's no reason to sell. Like you've taken a partial, you can try and get up into that red box above you. But I would not want it underneath this if you were long. I will wait to see if a short sets up for a rotation. You would not want it under this if you're a long. How far do we need it down under? We need a break of 80 and either a retest of 18 to see sellers step in, right? Or we just need a break and lots of aggressive sellers start to step in, right? It's not so much how far we go underneath him. It's more like what happens on the tape. Does he become a seller? Does he become a seller? You know, we can... They want to be really aggressive here. Let me just do projection on this. Give me a second. Back. Measured move would also be to 40. All right, a measured move is also into 40s and 50s. So I think there's a good chance we actually get into here right now. It's also a measured move on an hourly. There's a good chance we get up into that right now. Buyers got a little caught there into 10s, but still buyers are comfortable underneath, right? So we need the big players out of position. Why don't I like ranging days? I just think they provide less opportunity. It's not my bread and butter. I'll still make money from them like we have this morning, but I'm not going to size and be aggressive on a ranging day. I am going to size and be aggressive when we leave a range, especially a multi-time frame range like a weekly or a monthly, which is why the last 2 weeks have been so good. So good. How can you get anchored volume profile for free on NT, or does it need to be paid? Volume profile is free if you're using prop firms on NinjaTrader. Again, there's videos on my channel teaching you how to do that. You go to the volume and order flow section on my YouTube. It's all there. All right, a little bit of excess there at 10s. Still not underneath this key level though. We'll consider a short under this grey box. I want to be very careful of traps, but I will consider this play here under here. Starting to like maybe come in now. We'll see if they defend it or not. Here we go. Sellers at these lows. It's all about how we react now down here, whether they get caught again. They're trying to bid up here. We might swipe to 60 here. Here's 80s. Watching this now. Reaction here's key. What we do now is key. We're at the level. It's what we do now that's key. They're out of position. Do we swipe to 60s or do we pump to 95s? I want to see us leave this box. Ideally, we leave and retest it because that's going to make it a little bit cleaner to trade. If they come up to 90s and reject it and come back under 80s, I'm also interested at that point. They're stacking down at 60s and 57. So if they come up to 90s, reject, snap 80s, they're starting to stack at 70s. So there might be a swipe coming here for at least like a 10, 20 point fill. Not a lot. Ideally, we'd love it all the way down into here. Which would be like a 40-point trade. Okay, that guy at 70 has just lifted and moved to 55. So I'm still watching to see if they reject 90 and then snap 80 for a trade here. That's going to be my entry. For those who don't understand, if we reject 90 and break 80, I will consider a short entry in case I haven't made that really, really, really clear. Until that point, I will not consider an entry. For chat tells me off. If we don't do that, I will not be entering the trade. Here's the test of 90. Through 90s. No trade yet then. So we have to come back under 80s now and stay heavy. Otherwise, there is no short side setup. They still have unfinished business if they want to run up, remember. There is a little imbalance to 98. I wouldn't really want to see that filled, though. There is a little imbalance to 98. Let's have not closed through 90s. That's good. More buyers just got a little bit caught there. Didn't fill the imbalance, but let's see if we get back under 80s and start letting go. We will see. We will see. Why must not be front side, right? Because if they have not finished yet, they're going to move 50 points higher. So let's just see. Come on, Bookmap, why are you pausing me again? And once we get out of this, we're going to do the giveaway, because I almost forgot there. Almost forgot. What option for Bookmap? Just start with global. Global CME data, assuming you're just trading ES or NQ. If you're trading metals, then you're going to need COMEX data. So you're big gamma level. You're saying SPX 6900. So we're not quite there yet. SPX is at 892, so not too far. Very slow day. I mean, it's not too bad. The range hasn't been too bad. You know, off the low 7, still 300 points. It seems slow, but it's still 300 points. But remember, we did a lot of the damage overnight. We did a lot of the damage over the night, right? They're back through, so no short trade. They're probably going to come up for these 25s. This is why we're patient, right? Did we see this? Did we see this? No, we didn't. All right, so they're going to clear out and try and come up to that. So anyone who's long still from here, you still held this grey shelf. You can still look to get up into here. This is why I say, until we see this, we don't do anything. All right, we don't front run. We do not guess. Right, we wait to see participants be stuck. No one was stuck. Right, so they're going to lift. See the patience? Nothing happened. We wait. Bookmap is tick by tick. It's not a time frame. It's not a time frame. It's like tick by tick. More buyers stuck at 10s there. More buyers at 25k here. It'd be much better now if they just lift it up in here and get explosive. It would be much, much better. Here they go. Great. All right. Good for you, longs. All right. So you want to be TPing out into this here, please, into this red level. I will tell you, I think 44s is a big level. If you get through that, there is an argument. There are some stops. I'll tell you where the stops are. Stops are at 59, 65, 96, 130, 182. All right, but I would be taking a big chunk here. If you got very lucky, you'll get this red line, but I would be taking a big chunk out into here, please. They're still lifting. Here you go, into the red block, into the red block. Previous day open is at 61, by the way. SPX almost there. One of you were talking about that level on SPX, so we're almost there. Big buyers trying to step in here. Next big shove up, if they leave excess and trap these buyers, there's going to be a short back down if they hit those levels. Sellers coming in here at 24s. This is starting to be interesting here. This is where we get excess. What was that level? 10s and 25k. So buyers came in at 10s and 25k. If we start losing that, it might be a good sign that this thing's ready. Transition here from buy to sell. So you can see it on the book. Look at the high of day. We didn't quite make this red box. We got very, 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 very close. This shelf now has sort of been developed more like this, but I really want it under the lower side, but we can put this like this. Right. The flow zone indicator available for TradingView is everything on the website, guys. flowzonetrader.com. Everything's on the website. Just passed another eval. Appreciate the stream, sir. You're welcome. No, I'm not long, unfortunately. You know me, mate. Range rotation, not my thing. I'll wait for a short to set up now, if anything. Why did I put the grey box at 980? Because of the volume we built out. the volume. You see how we go, we think about this, where's the grey boxes? All right, so here, grey box. All right, and we know, like I talked about, there was a huge buyer there, wasn't there? We talked about him. Huge buyer there. Huge buyer there, right here. Look how big, huge buyer, 600 lot market. I think it was bigger than that according to Bookmap, but you know, it was a lot. It was a lot. So that's the pain point. Underneath there, that buyer will become a seller. If he's smart, he would have sold into some of this push already. This is the measured move on the hourly as well that we talked about. I can take you down to show you what I was talking about. If we think about a measured move on an hourly from this pullback, if we think about this as a hourly bull flag from this high to this low, we're into this measured move 47, so you can call it 50. All right, into that red block. All right, so we're completing a measured move as well. So we've got confluence that up here the auction might start failing. We don't want to be front side on it though. Right, big seller back on the book, same guy as before, that's spoofed because it's the same size. 709 lot, 25,030. Any specials for Bookmap? What do you mean specials? A code or something? Is that what you mean for cheaper? I don't know. I'll have a look. I don't really do it, mate. I might have one, but I don't know what it's going to give you off. Sorry. Yeah, I'll post it in chat. There you go. That's for Bookmap. Okay, back down to this grey box again. Buy here at 85 again. 100 lot 85. Remember, 80 is the big level. 80s is the big level. Same story as before. If we've now got excess up here, if we leave this grey box, this trade to here and here is possible. All right. If this just trapped all the bulls, this will offer it until we come underneath and reject, or at least underneath and I see follow through. I will not be playing short side. They can still hold this and still try and do this. All right, it's still front side of the move, isn't it? All right, we have not seen that yet. We might not see it at all. It's very possible. I really want to get a trade here so I can just do a giveaway for you guys. Should I just set the giveaway now? Oh, look at this guy just jumping in. Seller just came down. He's chasing the market down at 25,000. What are you doing, mate? 100 lot chasing it down. It's weird. Weird. Someone being aggressive. Someone's being aggressive. All right, down we come. And he's come back on the book at 25,000 again here. Still watching these 80s for me. Edge of grey box. Watching these 80s. So this guy, aggressive guy, stepped in. So 87s, they're now bidding. Where's this guy underneath? 65s. Yeah, I still think there's a chance. Under 80s, think we change trade 65. Still watching this now to see if we get a short here. Do we get sort of a cliff short here? Here it comes. Here's the 80s. Big level here, folks. This is where the buyer was stuck. If we trade under him, I'm going to be looking for shorts down towards 65. We've got to get under his level. He is at 80s. Under 80s, we can get a partial into 1765. Here's 80s, 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 80s. Waiting to see if we crack this now. They're getting very aggressive down here. Come on, then. Are we going to do it? Are we going to do it? Oh, do you want to give Alex his play or not? So watch this same rotation now. 90 and 25k to see if they reject and then come back under 80 for the sell. VPOC now moved up here as well. So big point of control is now at 80 because his volume was so fucking big. Right, is the retest of 80. They're still bidding on 80. And there are some passive bids down at 70s, which we can fill. If we push up, fail this imbalance, and then sell through, I will be joining short. Didn't quite get to 90s. They got close. Back to 80s. I think we can wash to 70s and then snap here. If we can just start going. They're still bidding 80s. Someone's flashing 25,000 now. So 90s and 25k have to reject here, and then we have to come under 80s, and then we get the sell. Otherwise, no trade. No trade. If they start bidding back above this and 25k, obviously we're going to come back up all the way up to here again. So I mean the shelf is held at 80s, right? You can see the 80 level, massive level. So back above here, 25k retest here, big level. Not just because it's a whole number, there was quite legitimately a big player up here. ES still holding its IB as well, so we're in sync. Fix found a bid yet? Not really. 1850s, it's trying. It's trying at the 1850s. At 25s, is he? Yeah, that's 700 lot back up there again. He's playing games, that guy. I mean, he'll get filled if they start getting above 25,000. There's an imbalance up there. So the imbalances are at 14 and 25. So he's trying to sell into the imbalance. So we've still got to wait for the 80s break. Otherwise, nothing. So still above 25,000 now. Value area high for me on NinjaTrader just being tested based on Delta. They're going to try and re-squeeze this now. So still no trade. Up we go. 25s. And they might lift this into this red box again. And if they get through the red box, maybe up there, it's asking a lot. Where's SPX? It's not quite there. Almost there still. So just filled that guy. Look, he just moved up. He's at 30s now, the 700 lot, but we just filled the imbalance into 25. 700 lots at 30s. He's spoofing all day long. Same player as before. Same player as before. Still waiting for the same levels for me. No trade otherwise. Oh. How do institutions scalp? They use high frequency robots. Is how they scalp. All right, he's still at 30s. Probably want to fill him, I guess. Back to 25k again. We have buy side imbalances here that they can try and bid on. It's getting tight here. It's going to make a decision soon. Don't care which way. I'm not going to play the long. I will play the short if we let go. I want to be very careful of a trap short now. But if we get 1, 2, 3 drives and a failure, a bit like we did here, it would be nice for this move back down to here. We're not going to get that many points out of it, though, so I have to think about, is it actually worth it? It's not bad, though, is it? 60 odd points, 50, 60 odd points. We'll see. We'll see. So 1 minute chart that you're looking at. 1 minute chart. All right, shall I just get this ready? All right, tell you what, while this is setting up, because it's taking a while. Let's give away an Apex account. Code FCT, best code to use on all your prop firms. Other than Take Profit Trader, you can use code FlowZone. Type FCT once in chat now, and we'll pick a winner. Okay, maybe red box still. Yeah, still into this. Looks good. This 700 lots a spoofer. He's a complete spoofer. I don't trust he's going to be filled at all today. He will be a buyer on the book, trying to lift. So he's trying to attract price to him, and he's just lifting higher and higher and higher and higher. He's a complete spoofer. So he's now moved up to 25.45. I don't believe he's real at all. Not at all. Patient, 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 folks. Patient, 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 patient. SPX still not there. Got close. Tell you what, while you guys do that, I don't want to miss the trade though. I need the bathroom. I need a coffee. All right. Hopefully this doesn't go without me. I'll be right back. Wait here and we'll do the giveaway when I'm back. Okay, into red box. Nice. Let's pull this winner. Let's pull this winner. One of you can win. Please don't spam, guys. Please don't spam. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Massive red fan. That better be Arsenal, not United. Otherwise, you're not winning. If that is a United fan, you are banned from winning. I'm joking, of course. Massive red fan. Are you here? Are you here? Let me know you're here in chat. Did they just fill this guy? Oh, it's legit. He got filled. That 700 lot got filled at 45s. Finally got filled. Liverpool. Oh, well, I like Liverpool. That would do. All right. All you got to do, shoot me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged in, and we will get you set up with a free Apex account, my friend. You can see we are still lifting up. Look at this 700 lot now up here. Huge, huge, huge level. Previous day open is up here at 61s. You can see some transitions starting to happen up here. So let's see. Let's see. Alex, reach to take profit, see if they'll let you do some giveaways. Be unreal. Yeah, I will. I mean, they never reply, but I'll try again, especially now we've grown a lot. What is FZT? Flow Zone Trader. So people were typing it in chat to try and win the competition for a free Apex giveaway, which massive red fan just won. All right. How long we got? 30 minutes. So we'll give it another 20 minutes. We'll do another giveaway for a free course, a beginner course, not the 20-hour course, just an introduction to trading course. Right. This guy got filled at 35s. A buyer at 35s, buyer at 45s. If we let go of that, they're probably going to trade 10s again pretty quick. I'm not sure if they want previous day open first, though. So we're under 35s. They just reabsorbed. Still a buyer on the tape at the moment. They're getting pretty... Oh, VIX got absolutely hammered there. That just got absolutely wrecked in the last 10 minutes. Let go of those 50s. So definitely supply zone up here. And we're starting to develop a bit of node here. It's a bit early. There might be a trade down to here starting to develop. But under there is where I get way more interested if we let go of it. So starting to see this. They can come up here if they really want. There might be a trade down to here. That would be counter trend though. The rotation would be underneath this. And you can see we keep moving value higher at the moment. So you'll be very careful. But this, I would consider 3 drive kind of territory. So it will probably perk out sooner rather than later, unless they want to do something absolutely mental with it and go for previous day high, which you just don't know with these lot, do you? We've been very aggressive, both sides this week. Like I said, it's likely to be very aggressive. Okay, I just see Apex just announced an 80% sale. So those that missed the 90, 80% sale now just announced on Apex. You can use code FCT over there. Deleting my emails here. Absolutely full. All right, this player is not being let out at 45s right now. You see this? We just reattempted to come up into him. This 700 lot is trapped at high of day right now. The other guy who's got big sizes at 35. So it's a big battle here. They are definitely trapped up here at 45s and 35s if we start moving away from them. Another big seller coming on here at 50, 432 lot. Fuck me. We're seeing some serious size today, folks. You just wonder, does the ES want previous day high? SPY's already had it. QQQ's has already had it. Does ES want it? The cash markets have it. Do we want up here? Do we actually want that? Let me see how big IB would be. It's going to be 1.5, isn't it? It's going to be 168. Okay. Can't rule it out. Cannot rule it out. Oh, thank you. Who just gifted me? I've just seen that. I've obviously missed it in chat. Thank you. Who was that? Jeff Morris. Very kind, buddy. Thank you very much. 700 lot was a buyer. Yeah, it was a 700 lot buyer. That's how we talk about people getting trapped. It was a 700 lot buyer, right? Because you have a 700 lot seller. Remember what we talked about an auction being completed? We have a 700 lot limit seller, but we have a 700 lot aggressive buyer, market order buyer. The seller doesn't get filled unless someone's willing to buy it, right? That's the delta, the buy delta. That's your delta. Remember, we have to have both aggressive buyers and passive sellers, or aggressive sellers and passive buyers on the book. Waiting to see. I just wonder, are they just going to do something real nasty? Right back to that same level. There's a 400 lot up here at 25,050 now as well. Previous day open is at 60s, folks. Yes, not too far away from previous day highs. Incredible comeback. 935 be previous day high. You're like, 12 points away from it or something. VIX still getting hammered lower. Big old squeeze on up here. Big old squeezy. Grinding out of all of this. Sellers not getting their way. They're a bit unhappy at the moment up here. They're a little bit unhappy. They're just walking this higher. How's Delta looking? CBD still very aggressive. Very, very, very aggressive here. What are you guys saying? Let me see the chat. Who buys up here? Institutions, people positioning for big trades, liquidity providers, all sorts. Yeah, Hood. I'm swing long on Hood, as some of you will know. Started that position yesterday. How much am I up on it now? Let's have a look. Oh yes, I'm up 15% on it. I was up last night on it, so if we come down here, this is one of the advantages of being in my Discord. So last night I started swing positions. There you go, nice start to Hood. So I told them yesterday, starting on Hood into this golden pocket. And we were looking at some other stuff as well, iBet as well. So I've started long and started making some nice money on those already. Really good. So I'm up 15.35% on Hood, 30% on Apple, 6.77% on Meta, 6.82% on Bitcoin Core, 3.2% on Oracle, which is just a very small piece because I don't love that stock, but I do think it's due a little bit of relief. Okay, so that 300 lot, we now have a 700 lot and a 300 lot. See, 700 lot and a 300 lot buyer, both caught up here. This is a big level here as well, 35. Under that, we've got this imbalance, and then we might flush back down into 08s and then VPOC down here again. So there might be something coming soon here. We have definitely caught those buyers at the highs so far. I don't know if we've completed the move, but there might be a deeper pullback into these 10s and 5 and 25k coming here. It might be a trade from here down to here starting to set up. We will see. Here we go. Here we go, folks. It's the 20s. Can we get 10s? The flush to 10s. Come on. Partial here. Waiting to see now if we can trade through 10s to the 500s. It's just because those guys got caught at the higher day, like we talked about. Imbalance here is at 10s down to 98s. All right, they might well hold this imbalance. We do not want it back above 33s. All right, if you took this with me short, you do not want it back above 33s. 33s is the start of where the buyers got caught. I will not hold it above 33s. It will be a re-squeeze for a new high of day. So all we did there is trade their pain from here to this imbalance. We're coming back to their pain. We need to reject this. If we reject this, I'm going to look for lower all the way down into 25k and 2580. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully that's making sense to you. Just being patient here for this trade. Really want it to reject 33s, come down to 25k, and then wash to 79s. Be a nice trade. Don't knock me out here, you fuck. 35's being tested. Come on. Don't want it back above 35s. Above 35s, I'm out. Like base above 35s. Is the imbalance being tested here at 38? If they close this candle up here, I will close the position. They have just removed all the liquidity higher above, apart from 45s, I think. Still look okay here. Still no close above 35s. We've poked the imbalance and that's it. Come on, wash this. Come back down to 25k. I tell you what, my stop is now going to 38 on the money. On the money. Well, 38.25. That's my stop now. I'm playing for this grey box to reject to go down to the next grey box. If they don't do it, they don't do it. That would be me done for the day if they don't do it. So there's an imbalance here. It tends down to 98s. And then under that, we can trade to 84s. Come on, one big trade to end the day. Collapse this fucking thing for me. I'm going to cover some into here if I can. I've already taken a partial here. We've rejected grey box. I'm looking for here. And if we collapse this, I will look for 54s and down. So you guys always want this drawn on, don't you? I'm short here. I'm partial into this because it's an imbalance. And I would like a cover here. All right. And if I get lucky, I'll get this and this. This would be ideal. If we reclaim 38, my stop is at 38.25 right now. We have an imbalance there. I do not want it to trade through that imbalance. Make that as obvious as I can. So 3 drives happened. 1, 2, 3. Looking for the backside fade back down into here. So next TP will be here towards 25,000. And then underneath 80, remember, I think we can have some fun. And I will consider an add under 80 if we stay heavy. I'm going to flip this the other side just so you can see price action better. Okay. So TP1 is top of this grey box. We've already taken a little bit, but really I want to get top of this grey box. I want this move here. I want to kind of wash these imbalances. Do not want this keep bidding in front of this imbalance. Come on, baby. Get under those 10s and under the 25k. Stop bidding in front of it, you fuck. This guy's being aggressive at 20s. Go away. Go away. Go away. Stop it. Stop it. Stop being aggressive. Get out of the way. Get back on the 20s. Trade through the 10s. Trade 25s. And rebidding 05s. He's pulled 05s. Good. Go on. Fuck off now. Fuck off. Get scared and drop it. Someone's playing games at 15s to 05s, like flashing in and out, in and out, in and out, and now walking it up. There's still a buyer on this tape being a bit of a sausage. It's been a bit of a sausage. We just need him to stop playing games. Just let this drift down to 25 so we can hit a decent TP there. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Move your 05 bid. Same guy. Playing games here, same guy. 5 to 15s and then walking up every time it gets close. Same guy. If we don't drop underneath this, I will cut. I don't want to fucking get swiped out here if he's going to be a knob. Giving it a chance. We got to get under the 10s and 25k so that the big buyers stepped in at 10s and 25k underneath us, and the big buyers above us stepped in at 35, 45 and 50, right? So we're trading between those lots. those guys who keep getting stuck. So I'll show you on here again. I might get fucking lifted out of this right now. So we've got a big buyer here and big buyers down here. So these guys are stuck. These guys are in the money. We need to get underneath this and we will leave all these buyers out of the money. But this auction looks good. This high day auction looks good. If they just stop being clowns trying to like force it up here, we'll be all right. But if they force it up, I'll just cut it. And I won't have another go. It's a Friday. It's fine. I'm out here on that lift up. Sorry guys, had a go. We got 20 points out of it, stopped in the money. What's my luck? They're going to trap me, wash me out by the tick, and fucking go again. How's your luck, Alex? How is your luck? How is your luck? Well, we had a go at it. I don't want to sit through this lift. Yeah, they're trying to lift. There's a little imbalance here. 37, 38, here they come. They're going to lift and test these guys who are stuck above. I'm probably done. I'm not going to have another crack at it. That was it for me. Been a really good week. Really good day. I think the auction at the high looks good. Honestly, it's just this guy keeps stepping in, and now we've repriced his 34s and holding. And if we let go of that, because they've just developed a node here, I don't think I'm going to have another shot. This is trade 3 for the day, so I'm 3 for 3. This one didn't make any money, though, really. Oh, my God, you just done it, haven't you? It's fucking tempting. It's tempting. It is so tempting right now. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Do you know what? I'm going to set up a giveaway instead. Otherwise, I'm going to look at this screen and I'm going to convince myself to do something. I'm only human. You guys, do it. No, I've had a go at it. There's been a buyer on a tape until he fucks off. You know, the fact that he saved it twice. Oh, the mind games of trading. The mind games is trying to fucking lure me in right now. It is trying to lure me in to have another go. I don't fear success. No. Don't you fucking lot try and lure me in. Don't you try and lure me in. No. Right, we're doing a giveaway. Right, type course in chat. It's for the introduction course. Right, it's just a 2-hour course. If you've never traded before, it's good for you. Finish that course. It does give you $100 off the main course, the 20-hour course. You can always give it to a friend. So just type it in chat once. No. Not doing this. We're still absorbing here until this guy's done with it. I need to be careful. I like the auction at the high. I think it looks good. The only thing I'm wondering is, like, you know, the problem is we've still got previous day high up here, and ES is not that far away. So I'm just wondering, are they trying to just have one little swipe up and lift? Maybe they want to run this guy out. Maybe they want to run that guy out on ES first. I don't know. The auction at the high looks really good on NQ, though. Who's left to run? 61s. Did we run that? Oh. That's what they're looking for. I've missed it. Oh, no, we've run it. What am I talking about? Okay, it's just this block. It's getting tight. You might get it, guys. You might get it. It's the same move. So if you're taking this, TP1's into here to 25k. All right, underneath 25.80, there's a chance you're gonna fucking get it. There's a it took me out by 5 ticks or something. All right, it's back down to this imbalance. You're watching this, right? This has to let go where this buyer was. 25,010 to 25,000. All right, this has to let go. If that lets go, this 25.10, you should get this 25k. I'm trying to move this up. If 25.10 lets go, you should get 25k. If 25k lets go, you're looking at 90s and then 80s. If 80s lets go, you're going to have a lot of fun on the backside of this move. All right. Fuck me. Well, what can you do? All right. Course winner coming up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Samir Kayed. Kayed? Samir Kayed. I'm really sorry. I've probably said it like an absolute imbecile. Samir Kayed 2024. Are you here? Look, watch these 10s, folks. If you trade through 20s, your next target's 25k. If you trade 25k, your next target is 80s. Under 80s, you can get fun. Nice. Congrats, Samir. I'm going to make a note of your name. All I want you to do is email me info@flowzonetrader.com. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, and I'll sort you out with a free introduction course. Here you go, then. All right. Did you hit 25s? Yeah, basically you just got 25. So you can see this imbalance being filled now. 25k is where that big buyer was that I showed you. All right, under that, you should go 80s. All right, you can see this under this guy now, 25k. If you trade under here, you can look 90s and then 80s. Oh my God. Ah! If it wasn't a Friday, I probably would have had another go. I just felt like I'd done enough. All right, so this is the trade. Same trade, folks. It's literally the same trade. It's the grey box trade. All right, so TP here is 90s now, top of this grey box. And then you're looking for under 80s, right? Under 80s, I will tell you now, if you see this, this will do this. You can have a really nice winner here. You might give you an add possibility for this trade up down to here. So be over 100 points to end stream on a Friday, to end the week. I'd love it if you guys get that. I'm only human, guys. You can see the raw emotion. Here you go. Here comes the test towards the 80s. So you want to be peeling a lot off here, please. You want to be peeling a lot off here. You can always re-add on if we stay heavy under 80. So this was the position of that big buyer. We've just tapped into him at 80. If you stay heavy here now, you're going to look for a trade all the way down to 928. So maybe you can peel some at value 57s, but under this grey box, ideally you're going to get 27s, but most of it off into 80s, please. All right, so this is what I mean. So whoever fucking moaned and bitched earlier about I don't call stuff, like I really do. I call so much stuff for you ahead of time and I give you the reasons, and that's the difference between staying with me on this stream and hopping between streams going, any trades, any trades, any trades, tell me when you trade, tell me when you trade. No, be on this stream, learn why, what we're looking at, and why. And then even when I don't get it, you fucking lot are, and that's all that matters, right? Still putting a lower high here. That was a nice failed follow through. Great auction of the highs like we talked about. Massive trap selling at the highs, right? This is what you want to see. Huge trap selling at the highs like we talked about. We auction away from the highs. You put in a lower high. My stop. I was worried that we're going to run me out because this buyer kept stepping in. But once he got trapped here in this grey box, you trade away from it to the 80s, right to the 80. Very exact cover point, that 80, wasn't it? Very, very exact cover point. The ICT guys looking for it to run this or whatever. No, you need to respect the actual level. 80 was where he kept bidding earlier. The exact level. Yeah, so W's in chat if you got that. I think lots of you got it. Let me have a look. Yeah, lots of you getting this. That's great to see. That is fantastic to see. Every Friday, I always seem to end a stream where I don't get the trading you guys do. It's because I'm so cautious on a Friday. I don't like the idea of giving anything back. This is getting a little bit wonky on the Bookmap here, guys. What is going on? This is getting a bit wonky. Be careful here. Make sure you've paid yourself some money. No, guys, it's not. Look, it's not that anyone's getting to me. Honestly, it's not. It's just like, I wish. It's not about me. It's not going to make a difference to me. It's going to make a difference to like the guys that are like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like, tell me when, tell me when. Like, it's going to make a difference to those guys. It doesn't affect me. I could never stream again, and I know how to trade. I'm going to be quite comfortable. I can travel the world the rest of my life and trade, and that is ultimate freedom, right? I don't need to do anything else. I want you guys to all be able to do the same thing. Past my first eval following you, I'm in tears. I'm a single mum of teens with a mortgage I need to pay. Thank you, learning lots. April. Hi, King 5, April. Way to go. Great work, April. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. All those single mums out there working hard. Congratulations. It's great. Great. I love to hear it. That's great. So after all that, any trades? Yeah, there was 3 trades today. I don't know. I don't get it. Right, here are the 3 trades today. Long. These are the trades I actually got. Long. Up into here, 100 plus points. Okay. Short. I had to cut that early. Why? Because I was trading an account which has consistency rules. Short from, was it here? Did we go short again? No, we didn't. We went long again. What am I talking about? Left the shorts. Long from this trap. No, that's a short. Long from this trap. For this move back to here again. Right, it's like another 100 point. All right, and then left all the chop out in here. If we didn't get knocked out here, we would have lifted all the way up here. And then I just had to go at this short, and I didn't get much out of it before break even. What did I get out of this? Like 20 points, 18 points or something. Yeah, that's all I got, folks. And then you guys are in it here. So you want to see this. What you will need now into lunch is a new lower high, right? A new lower high, and this. This is where you make good money. You must respect this, okay? Do not have an expectation below this. If it does snap this and come down, by the time you'll get there, you will have cash VWAP. They will be covering into that. A trap can absolutely live in this level, right? If they want to be dirty, right, and they've decided they're not finished with it, they will do that in this level. So that's what I would be aware of throughout lunch if you're going to hold this short through lunch in the afternoon. But you should have paid yourself no matter what, right? Let me just read the last few messages before I get out of here. Single dad here, 2 kiddos under 12. Great job, April. I love it, guys. Like, all you guys, like, it's fantastic. If you can make this a secondary income for you guys, it gives you the freedom to be with your children as well. It's great. Alex, you're the best. I'm 95% dedicated to being here and learning from you every day. And the other 5% would be traveling trader. And that's only for his options insights. So that's awesome. There's lots of traders out there. I'm not saying don't look at other traders. What I'm trying to stop is the amount of newbies who will watch a stream for 2 minutes and then go for another stream and then go for another stream and then go for another stream and then go to another. All they're looking for is someone to give them something that you can't learn that way. You cannot learn that way. You just need to pick a style. It doesn't need to be my style. There's other good mentors out there. If there's another product you want to trade, go with them. I won't be offended. As long as you guys are happy and make money, that's all that matters, right? It's you that has to look yourself in the mirror at night and go to bed. So if you're happy with how you're progressing, that's great. Please explain why the target of 80. Well, other than it being initial balance, it's because it's where the big buyer came in. All right, earlier today, right, this guy here was a huge buyer, right here, 592 lot. He was actually 700 lot altogether. All right, this buyer here, we trade back down to his level. We don't expect to trade under him, right? So we partial out into him. So we're using these buyers who are caught to these buyers here over 1,000 lots caught from 45 and above. All right, We're using them to trade down, fill some imbalances down to this buyer. Now, if this buyer is still there and willing to absorb the tape, the answer right now is yes, then we're going to expect the lift back up. So we cover into him. It's why we have to respect. So here we had initial balance, point of control, and a huge buyer. Are we going to expect price to go lower? No. So we are going to cover into him. If we go low and reject it, we can add back on in size, right? So we trade level to level, especially in a rotational market. It's so important that you understand that. Do not have these huge expectations. If we got beneath this, all right, let's say you took 60, 70% off here and we traded under and we rejected this, you could have put that money back on and looked for that, but we didn't. Instead, we've come right back to here. And I tell you what, if this guy's going to be dirty, like I talked about, they might finish this move. They might even do this. They might be really disgusting and do that. I don't know. It's a Friday. Anything's possible with the options, right? You're welcome, everyone. Should we hodl the short? No, definitely not, right? You've hit TP. It's reclaiming levels. I definitely wouldn't be holding it. Not at this point. Not when it's just ripped back up. Thanks, guys. There are so many kind words here. Really appreciate it. Second day here and paper traded on your guidance and analysis. This is gold. I appreciate it. I'm learning heaps in 48 hours. That's awesome. That's awesome. So 592 was an outstanding buyer on the book. It wasn't outstanding. He'd already been filled. All right. So he'd already been filled, which means he'd created volume. If they're trying to see how, I was trying to think how to explain this to you. Okay. Where's my NT? All right. We went over this earlier, but I'm going to try and help you. All right. If there is a limit seller here, all right, limit seller here, these are market orders buying. That's aggressive activity. We move aggressively. Delta's aggressive. Look, 741 because of this aggressive buyer. We aggressively move away from there. When we come back to this same area, we expect him to show up, right? Because look what happened. We moved away. We came back to him. Sellers got trapped. We move away. We came back to him. Sellers got trapped. We move away. We come back to him. We're going to assume he's still there. We're going to make some assumptions to protect ourselves that he's still there. Right? Level to level. We're not going to assume he's not. We're going to position ourselves so that if he's not there, we can get runners all the way down. Or if he's not there and we retest it, we can add back in. But we are going to make the assumption that he's still there based on this node, right? This node right here is telling you there's a good chance we're going to bounce off it. And guess what? We have. And now we've ripped through everything else because unlike you guys who were smart enough to get short up here with buyers stuck and trade back down to this, guess what everyone else did? Everyone else tried to short this down here without seeing this, all right? So they got short down here. So guess what they're doing? They're now stopping out, causing this, right? And anyone like you who didn't take profit, they're now stopping out, probably going to cause this. That's how the market moves, guys. It moves because of people's pain. It only moves because of people's pain. I promise you, regardless of what anyone tells you about some algo or anything else, it's just people's pain. No worries. There we go. Max pain gains. Well, your name is perfect for what we've just talked about. Alex, I've been sitting with my mouth shut and ears open for 2 months. I've been in the market for years and I've never traded futures until now. 3 days in, 3 days green following you. I'm beginning to see it. Hey, there we go. It's awesome. I've joined your channel. Do I get access to Discord? If you bought the 20-hour beginner to advanced course for $649, you do get access to Discord. Scroll down to the end of the course. There's a module on Discord. Tells you how to get in. Yeah, lots of you seem like you're new here and learning lots. Is there a good tool to see options levels correlated to NQ prices? Yeah, there is. Why is my brain not working right now to think of what they are all called? Oh, come on, bro. Tide. Tide from Unusual Whales. What are the other ones, guys? Help me out. There are some which automatically print on the GEX levels. Meant the Q. There you go. That was the one I was trying to remember. Well done. Thank you, guys. Meant the Q. You can have Meant the Q set up so it automatically prints on Bookmap or TradingView as well. So if you pay for it, it will automatically print those GEX levels for you. Do I have a method of determining the size of what volume bubbles on your NT bubble chart? I can't remember what I have it set to. I think anything over 50. No, it must be less than that. But obviously, the bigger the bubble, it might be over 25s. Might be over 25s, all in one go. That is. But obviously, like today, we've seen a 700 lot, we've seen a 379 lot, we've seen a 592 lot. I mean, we're talking about today's been serious size, guys. It's not a joke. That's serious size, serious size. Aren't we in expansion for the current day? Yeah, but remember we're Friday. All right, remember we're Friday. So what are we considering in now? Right, this is the current week. Right, so we're expanding out of the previous day. So we failed. Remember, previous day value area low, we reclaimed. We're above previous day value area high. We're in expansion, but we're into nodes from the current week. Remember, we're above this. We expect to trade to here, this red box, which we're now trading in. If we get above this, we can maybe fill in some of this into here, this low volume node, which will be 175, be asking a lot. But I wouldn't, we're expanding on the last few days, but it's still pullback, right? Because where's the volume? Where's most of the volume? Here, here, and here. All right, for the current week. We'll go over this in this week's newsletter. I'll go over it all. Where do you learn volume profile from? How long have I been using it in trades? So I've been using it for as long as I can remember, but I've used to only really look at it on Bookmap. Now I plot it on here for you. There's free stuff on my YouTube, right? I will say to anyone that's new, go on my YouTube. There's, before you spend money on the course, do all the free stuff, right? I've got some masterclass lessons on there. There's a whole shelf on my YouTube dedicated towards it, towards volume and order flow. Let me find it for you. I'll post it in chat. There's tons of free lessons on my YouTube, honestly, right? This right here is a good place to start from if you want to learn about volume, right? That's a playlist of some free stuff. If you like that stuff and you want to learn more, you can do one of the courses on my website, but only do it if you like how I teach. If you don't like how I teach, find someone who teaches in a way that makes sense to you. We're going to 25,080. Yeah, it's possible to go to 80. It's possible also to come up here, but you know, this is the level here. I wouldn't keep buying this up here. It's like you're losing edge. Where did I learn from? Just by myself, really. No really good mentors, if I'm honest. Just a lot of trial and error. I learned more from mentors on what not to do. I used to have some terrible habits. I used to pay, like you guys, I paid thousands and thousands and thousands for really shit courses to teach me really bad things. The newsletter, it should be posted underneath, guys, or at the pin. If you go to the pin message at the top, the newsletter will be in one of those blocks there. It's completely free. All right, folks, that's me done. I really appreciate you guys showing up. It's been amazing. It's been a great week again. To the last 2 weeks, we have been on a heater. Long may it continue. I think next week might be a little bit more tricky. I think we probably build out range early next week. We'll see where we close today. I think we're just going to have a fail breakout of the low and an inside bar today. Hopefully, we don't get through that previous day high. Otherwise, it's going to start getting messy into next week. But we'll see. I will remind all of you, this here that we do, it is not your life, all right? It is not your life. It is just a job. Maybe it's a side hustle. Maybe it's something new that you're learning. Maybe it's your full-time gig, but it is just a job. If you become too obsessed about this job, you will stop seeing your family members, your kids, your loved ones, your friends. You'll stop going outside. You'll stop going to the gym. You'll stop doing all these other things. Those things are so important in your life, even for you to just do this well. So this weekend, go and do things which are good for you. Do not sit and backtest for 48 hours this weekend. It is not going to fill you with what you need. Sure, review some of your trades, journal a little bit, do a little bit of backtesting, but go outside, right? Go and play some sport, go to the pub, go and do anything that makes you feel good. Get off the screens, all right? With that said and done, love you all. Peace and love. I'll see you Monday morning. Look out for the newsletter tomorrow morning in your email, in your inbox. Take care, folks, and use hard stops if you're going to stay here.